Hey everyone, welcome back. What is going on? I am your co-host Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, joined as always by my co-host Andrew. Don't get it twisted, Lapache. This is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. As always, I'd like to thank you guys for joining us. So we have a lot to talk about. We wanted to get into the details of the upcoming super bout this weekend between Canelo and Munguia. We're going to get to that. This is kind of what I like to call the go home show. That's a term that's used in professional wrestling. It's like the last TV show before the next major pay per view, called the go home episode. So that's pretty much that. This is pretty much the go home episode before a major pay per view happening Cinco de Mayo weekend this Saturday, May 4th, at there's a lot of events going on for Munguia and Canelo at the MGM and T-Mobile. Some of which I might try to make it down there to see if I can find some sort of footage or try to record something for you guys. So stay tuned for that. I'm gonna try to make it to the grand arrivals, and I'm gonna try to make it to the media workouts. I'm gonna try to get there early to get a pretty decent shot. I don't know if they're gonna have Munguia and Canelo for the media workouts because it's kind of the way they have it set up. It's kind of a free for all, open for everybody. So I don't know if they'll do that, but nonetheless, let's see what kind of footage I can get for you guys. We also have a few other topics we want to talk about regarding this last weekend's DAZN card, and then of course more Ryanisms, stuff that is going on amongst Ryan Garcia and his team, the things that have been airing, amongst all the other topics. But before we start delving into those, Andrew, what's going on, dude? How you doing?
Hey, how's it going, Miguel? Everything's good up here. Weather's nice. It's off and on a little, but it
Mm.
seems to we're trending more towards nice spring days. Are more common than the winter now. So I think we are turning the corner here soon on the season. So everything's good. Everything's good.
Did you guys get any rain? Because we actually got like a brief rain Friday. Actually, it started to rain, it stopped, then it came back. I don't know if you guys got any rain up there, but we sure did.
We did one. I don't know if it was one day or one night, real fast though. But yeah, we washed the car. You're right. We washed the car, then it rained, and now the sun's out again. So we gotta wash the
Mm.
car again. And then we did I tell you we had I guess we adopted the two cats from next door.
Oh no.
Our neighbors moved a few months ago. The
Hmm.
cats are, I guess, strays already.
Mm.
They didn't want to take them, or they did take them. Cats came back. Whatever happened, they're in my fucking yard now, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So my daughter named Natalia, the little one. She names
Mm.
them. Now we feed them, and
Mm.
now we give them water. They don't talk to me. They talk to my daughter, dude. My daughter walks out there. These two
Yeah.
cats, meow, 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 meow. They don't come up to her, but they they
Yeah.
they're constantly meowing, right?
Mm.
I talk to them, they don't say shit to me. These fucking things.
Mm.
Well, because of the rain, I found out that the mama cat is sleeping on the hood of my car, dude.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how to fix this, but it's got to be fixed.
Wow. So it's
Yeah,
like an every night thing. Like is it like do you
I
catch her
just
on the
seen
thing?
paw prints all over my.
Oh.
Yeah, and I caught her. I caught after I noticed it. Now I'm going. I stuck my head out every once in a while. I caught her sleeping on the damn hood of my car.
Oh man. Okay.
Don't know how to fix this, but be sad, Natalia, if one day she comes home and Mama Cat and I ain't. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I don't know
Oh,
how to
oh,
fix it, dude. But
all of a sudden
fucking
you have a new rug in the living room. It's like, what happened here? Yeah, not quite sure. We just your mom bought it somewhere. She got it from IKEA. I don't know. Oh man.
so nope, that's about it. Cat paw prints on my hood, dude. That's all I got to complain about this week.
Well, damn. All
That's a
right.
good week, right? That's a good
Yeah.
week.
If that's the worst you have to complain about, I'd say that's a pretty damn good week. I would have to say. Um,
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
I myself, I don't know if you can tell here, but I got these like red marks on my face, right? It looks like I got sunburn. Apparently, my dermatologist is telling me that he thinks I have eczema. So it's like, oh, so now we got to do a bunch of tests and stuff like that. He's like, well, maybe it's just an allergy, so we got to do we'll do an allergy test. So I got these patches on my back that they taped on my shit. I have to keep them there for like a couple of days to see if I happen to be allergic to anything, to see if that's what's going on. But thankfully, nothing more greater than that. Today I went to
Yeah,
go
they
get.
thought at first it was herpes, so that's good. That's just excellent.
that's, that's a relief. I was like, oh, that's what it is. Like, thanks for letting me know, doc. That's
I
it's like
yeah, yeah.
any sores lately? Like no, no, doctor. Why? What's something you got to tell me? It's like come to the office. I got to tell you in person. Like, oh, thanks, I appreciate that. But anyway, uh, in, in regards to the boxing world, I thought I'd throw that in there. We had some boxing this weekend. Some pretty decent card on DAZN. The card wasn't half bad. Of course, the two main fights that we're looking at, the co-main event and main event. The co-main event being Virgil Ortiz taking on Thomas. I can always get his name wrong. Dulorme, because I want to say like
Dulorme.
I
Yeah,
end up in the
Dulorme.
E and the O. I call him Dulermo or something. So Dulorme, veteran. That was the co-main event, and then main event, Jose Ramirez taking on Rancis Bartholomew. So it wasn't a half bad card. I mean, there was a UFC card as well that was kind of like meh, wasn't all that great. After UFC 300, that was pretty big. They're gonna take a couple of weeks off and have some semi decent cards. But fights are fights, so of course I'm gonna tune in to watch them. But my attention was more so on the boxing, of course. Why? Because the main event was, although it was at 147, the Jose Ramirez primarily fights at 140, so having his name still being in the mix at 140, which is right now the money division right now at that 140 is like hot as fuck. So having another name there, I mean, he's been in that weight class for a minute, so um, those are the fights that we generally like to pay attention to, the ones where the weight classes are happening. Then also in the co-main event, Virgil Ortiz taking on Thomas Dulorme. I guess we're going to start there because it wasn't much to talk about really, huh? The fight ended basically in the first round. I'll say basically it did end in the first round through a fantastic body shot. This is the second time that Ortiz has fought at 154, both times ending the fight in the first round. So we didn't really get to see him go, 10 or 12 rounds or whatever at 154. That's kind of, one of the things that we always like to look at is how they look at a new weight class going long distance. Obviously, he has the power. He's still, knocking people out, and that's a good sign. But how he does later on in the fight is what we want to see, what we would have liked to have seen. But Andrew, what did you see? I mean, you caught the fights, right? You managed to catch the
No,
replays. What did
yes, yes. Um, Not too much to see. You spent more time talking about it than they actually did in the ring, Miguel. Um, I don't know if it's gonna hurt Ortiz, man. All this
the quick fights?
inactivity, then
Oh,
you get a fight. Now it's freaking 30 seconds. Maybe it went 2 minutes.
yeah.
It's over in 3. Okay, that's not good.
Mm,
I don't know if we don't even know if Ortiz's power is real because he hasn't really fought in a guy of the caliber that he's about to face or the opposition that he's about to step into. He's getting into deep waters now, and
mm,
we don't even know if he can swim.
mm,
He does good, but these guys are not Zoo. Zoo's proven,
mm.
proven, proven. You better bring it. His power's good. I don't really. I mean, dude, what do you say about Virgil Ortiz? Excuse me, almost called him Victor. What do you say about Virgil, man? The guy, he's got great power. It's gonna be
Mhm,
hell of exciting to see where this power takes him. But there's so many unknowns.
mhm,
It's like, why? So many times when Oscar has gotten some of his fighters the shots that he can, I guess from business standpoint, yes, right. He just made Virgil Ortiz a millionaire.
mm,
If that's what we're going on gauging this on, so I see that side of it. But as far as his career, just doesn't seem like the right moment. Right, he's had numerous setbacks in training. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This is a fight that I don't think's happening on the card, and I love the card. I love everything about um, Turkish. What's his name? I gotta remember his name.
Turkey. You can call him just His
His
Excellency.
Excellency, whatever. I'm gonna remember his name though. But yes,
All
sir,
right.
that man's doing great things. I don't know what his knowledge is on the sport. I don't know. I don't know if he can build a fighter, but he has the money to make the fights that the promoters can't make.
Mhm, mhm.
Right. So once you get to that level, that's where his excellence should step in for us. Right.
That
Let
makes
the little
sense.
let the
Mhm,
promoters do what they're doing on building these fights and building the fighters. And then when you want to when you want to make them jump, that's when you make them jump because he has the money to do that. So however the promoters can keep this man involved in the sport, we need him right now. We really have to promote this card that's coming out. I'm kind of surprised that Pitbull and Zoo are taking such a fast turnaround,
Mhm.
right? I know Ortiz is, but Ortiz wasn't just headlining his own pay-per-view that was on the biggest platform in the world, and we're about to make so much freaking money, right? I don't know what's going on over there. That's fast turnaround, especially for Zoo. It's the fight that I don't think is going to happen. Um,
At all, or just not at that particular
Not
time?
at that on that card. Yeah,
Okay.
it might happen later on, but I don't trust the kid, man. The kid's backed out of like 3 fights, and now you're having him fight back to back,
Mm.
right? The pressure's only going to go up right here. So I don't know what his injuries come from or what's going on in training, but the pressure just went 10 times.
Mhm. But it would be his illness, no? Because he's got, I forget what it's called, but I think it's some sort of something to do with his stomach or his
The,
intestine. I forget what it's called, but I think that I don't I
you might want to
wonder.
look that up. I thought he had a heart issue, bro.
Oh, is that what it was?
Didn't he have that COVID? He had some kind of COVID after effect.
Really? Okay. Let
Yeah,
me
you
see
might want
here.
to look it up, but whatever the case, he's been injured 3 times in training, and I just the fight's very fast on the turnaround. I know he got out of there quick, but I'm
Mhm.
talking about the training. The thing that has kind of kept him out of the ring is the training side of it. So I hope the fight happens. But you know, every time we see these run of great fights, you always have those ones that don't make it.
Mhm.
Well, on this particular fight card, if I had to pick one that I don't think is going to make it to the date, it would be Zoo versus Ortiz. But I hope I'm wrong because, like both of them said, Miguel, it is the main event. Both of those
Mhm.
dudes, it's a solid fight. This is can't get
It
any
is. It
better.
is because Crawford has got a guy who's strong and young and powerful and a champion, but he's got 11 fights for fuck's sake,
He's got no skill.
and he just won the belt like in his
Yeah,
last fight, so hasn't even defended it. So what I found,
not
this is
Triple
one,
G.
definitely not Triple G or anybody else for that matter. The What I found here is a blood disorder called rhabdomyolysis.
That's it. Yep,
So
I
yeah, so
remember.
I don't know, and this is just my guess. I wonder if him like killing himself to make 147 for as long as he did had anything to do with it. I don't know, because it seems like he fought 2 times back to back in pretty close proximity to one another at 154, and he comes in looking great, you know. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Maybe the diet or the cutting weight or the dropping in weight had anything to do with his blood work. Something that could be making this condition worse to try to make 147, and he's not there anymore. Because I mean, he pulled out of like two, I mean maybe three, but definitely 2 fights, and
Right.
then now he's got like two pretty quick, time frames. So um, I don't know. It seems like a good sign. It looks promising, right? It looks like he can still do it. On Tim Zoo's side, I don't know because who was it? His opponent Fundora got suspended for 6 months, I think they said, and it's like, well, that's barely. If we do the same thing for for Sue and his cut, I don't know what the suspension is for him, but we're cutting it close. Like that's like
The
August is like the 5 month mark or some shit because it was late March, mind you.
Now that suspension isn't that just for Las Vegas though?
Fighting in oh, maybe. Oh yeah, I guess it would
Yeah,
be,
they're
huh?
fighting in L.A.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's one way to get around it, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, yeah, we didn't really get to see much, unfortunately, out of Ortiz this last weekend. Like you said, we're basically, talking about him longer than his actual fight, but it was great. It was a body shot, right? That was awesome. The first fight that he was in at 154 when he was back, it seemed like they was stopped a little prematurely. This one, definitely not. This one, he landed that fucking hook that just dropped Delorme, and um, I thought Delorme was gonna continue actually when he like came down. I was like, oh shit, he's gonna beat the count, and then he stayed down. I was like, oh fuck, all right. But I mean, it was good to see Ortiz back again, and we're like, and he looked so ready too. He was so focused. Even like in the post fight interview, he was talking about it. He's like, let's do it. I wish. I really do wish they can make that happen in August because the card is going to be great. Obviously, right? We talked about it before. The card looks like it's going to be awesome. The main event probably not so much, but if this fight makes it on that card, then as they've said, that is the main event of the card. So that would be badass if they can make that happen. But nonetheless, good win for Ortiz. He's back. I don't know if these quick fights are to his benefit. The fact that he's able to take these guys out as quickly as he has been able to, and not gone the full 12 rounds to see how he feels with the additional weight on his body for the 12 rounds. But nonetheless, got himself a victory and got in and out. I don't even think he broke a fucking sweat, to be quite honest.
Yeah, no
Um,
doubt.
but or go, were you gonna say something?
I liked how they were trying to make it seem like those guys were buddies, and then like Ortiz just comes out hitting him on the break, hitting him in
Yeah.
the clean. Like he didn't look like a buddy to me, bro. It's round one. This dude's taking off on him. I was like, they might have sparred or something a long time ago, but I don't know about buddies because Ortiz wasn't looking to shake no hands inside that ring.
No, and then they mentioned it too. I think Chris Mannix mentioned it at the end of the fight during the interview inside of the ring, and Ortiz was I forgot because I'm watching the fights with my pops. My pops just talks and talks and talks. I'm like, Dad, I'm trying to listen to what the fuck he's saying. Please, tone it down. I'm trying to hear. But I heard Chris Mannix say something about their previous them being buddies back in the day, and he was like, and I think he asked him something along the lines of that affected his performance in any way, shape, or form, or his training or anything like that. And he's like, no, hell no. Like we sparred, back when I was like 15 or something like that, right? He said,
Oh,
like,
there you
hella,
go. So they did
like,
say, all right.
yeah, he said it during the post fight. He's like, nah. I'm like, man, we sparred a long ass time ago. I know it was for a short, period of time, so it wasn't like it was, we were homies hanging out, going to the fucking strip club together, like good buddies or some shit. Not
Right.
even that. So yeah, that was funny how they try to. I guess they were trying to make the fight more interesting. I don't know, but because the fight itself was quick, in the
I think
and then.
we talked about it. I didn't know how Derlome had even gotten this shot, dude. Where'd they find this guy's number at? You know what I mean? Like, dude, he's so off the radar. To get a shot like this on a DAZN card co-main was what? So the outcome did not surprise me at all. The signing of Zoo did. It really does, because as we can see now with the Devin Haney fight,
Mm.
it does cost you money. It costs you respect. Like, there's a lot in these losses in boxing. I know no one likes it. Everyone says it's all BS and shouldn't be that way. You should fight the best and the best. But when you take a defeat, your stock goes down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The next fight is not as big for you. Okay. Even Ryan had to fight Duarte before he got to Stevenson, right? I'm Stevenson. Excuse me, Haney. Excuse me, Haney. So maybe Virgil bounces back, but if he doesn't, the questions will always be, was he ready for this? And my answer is no. He's not shown anything at 154 to say he's ready to take on Zoo, who should probably still be undisputed today, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of BS that man don't have the title spot around his waist, but whatever. Both of these fights, man, you gotta blame that shit on. It's like they need to start a new trophy this year for the Ring magazine. The most fucked up trainer of the year. Who made the baddest decision in the corner when the lights are on, man?
Yeah.
Who made the worst decision? The fucking guy with fucking busted vein on his forehead that can't stop leaking, or Mr. My son's gonna kill a guy who came in 3 pounds heavier than him?
Yeah, we're gonna have a top 10 of like worst corners. It's like, yeah, Ring Magazine, if you're listening, we're gonna have a top 10 real soon of worst corners, or worst cut men, worst trainers, because some of the advice that they get sometimes, or some of the decisions that are made in the corner, on the fly, aren't exactly, in retrospect, aren't exactly, even in the moment, we could have figured out a better decision that they actually went with. But yeah, that's definitely we should make one at the end of the year. It's like, all right, let's make a fucking top 10 worst corners.
Right now, we got
countdown.
2 candidates.
I know, right? And it's barely May or April, on damn near May. So we're halfway with the year, and we got some pretty solid candidates. It's funny you mentioned Duarte earlier, because he actually did fight on that same card, on the DAZN card, defeating Jojo Diaz. So he's never been stopped, as I remember it. And the referee, stepped in. It was a TKO officially. Kind of sad for Diaz, kind of like, I was a fan of his, man, and he's just, I mean, still am, but it's just like he's really on the downside. It seems. It just seems, and he's fighting like at 140 at this point, and he's just way too small for. He probably should be still fighting at like 135 or even 130 if he can
Right.
make it. But yeah, that was kind of sad to see. It was good, and I think it's the first time JoJo had ever really been hurt. He was like stunned. Duarte was just coming forward, man, and I know I was intending to talk about just the co-main event and the main event, but it reminded me when you mentioned Duarte's name earlier. But yeah, that kind of sucks for Diaz, man. I kind of feel for him.
That was a great fight for Duarte, because you are right. I think it's round 3 when he really picks it up and starts taking it to Diaz. Diaz never had the power to keep anyone off of him. We always kind of knew this about JoJo, and actually, it's going to be the same about the main event. Mm-hmm. They're exciting fighters. They just don't have the power. Once you get to that certain age where you start slipping on your other skills, you got to rely more on your power. When you don't have it, it gets kind of tough in this sport, right? One thing I like about Diaz is he did get a fair shot. He fought a lot of known fighters. He's went for the titles. He's won titles, so he's got no hard. He should have no hard feelings on boxing. There was a time where I thought they babied JoJo. Like he got his run way too late, but he got it. He made good money. Now he needs to ride off into the sunset before it gets real bad for him. It almost got real bad this last Saturday. He doesn't need to go through that again. And you're right. He looks out of shape. He looks overweight. He looks old. You know what I mean? You can dress up and get tattoos and all that out as much as you want, but his skills and just the way he's moving, the size of him, he looks like that overaged boxer now, right? So don't want to see that again. Who his opponent? What's his name?
JoJo's opponent, Duarte?
Oscar Duarte. Probably the best body in boxing, dude, on fight night, bro. The fuck, didn't that guy go eat something? Came in chiseled, man.
Yeah. Like
comes in
statue, yeah.
Yeah, look, he had a bad showing to Ryan. Gave a shout out to him. I don't know what the hell that was all about. But
I know, right? Especially afterwards, like, not to interrupt, but like saying like, "Congratulations, great fight." Yada. Like, we've already had this talk. Don't be praising that motherfucking cheater. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I think him and Pitbull might go up for fight of the year, dude. If they can get those two in the ring. The way he fights, the way Pitbull fights, they're both fighting out of their limit, right? They both don't belong at 140. So why don't you guys just make a pay-per-view check on your own? And it probably sells. That fight probably generates more money than a lot of other pay-per-views that are happening right now, just on the Mexican American and Mexican fan base themselves. That's where I think Duarte versus Cruz would be if they really pushed it. If that, and I don't even know if they even have to push that hard. It's just a good fight. So that's the one that I like for there. Duarte did good. JoJo, unfortunately, I think he's on his way out. And then Jose might not be too far behind him, man.
Yes. Let's get into that. Jose Ramirez. I mean, eked out a decision, maybe. I mean, and probably maybe the latter rounds were all his, and he was able to pull away the second half of the fight. But Jose Ramirez taking on Rances Barthelemy. Rances actually, I think he lives here in Vegas. I've seen him a few times. A couple of gyms that I visited, he was there. He's a pretty cool cat. He's with Salas, Ismael Salas. So and then also Bones Adams, which is also a local gym here in Vegas. So I have seen him around pretty regularly. So I was familiar with him years ago, and got himself a main event shot against Jose Ramirez on DAZN. Yikes! A couple of I know you watched it afterwards, so I didn't want to like spoil it for you. When I was watching it, and I sent you the text, I was gonna send it originally like, "Oh damn, Jose's in trouble." But I was like, damn, I don't want to spoil it in case you happen to not be watching it. So I was like, are you watching this? Let me ask you. Let me check that first real quick. But holy hell, he ended up getting to come away with the decision regardless, right? Which is something. Let me see. I think it was a unanimous decision. Yeah, it was a unanimous decision. And some of the scorecards were a little meh. I mean, again, like you mentioned, at the end of the day, if the right guy wins, then all is good. But it seemed like, maybe Rancis got a little more, should have gone a few more rounds than he did according to the scorecards. But nonetheless, Ramirez got himself a unanimous decision victory, but it wasn't easy. He didn't come out of that shit unscathed. He had, taken some time off, and his back, and he left Top Rank. He's now with Golden Boy, and this was, if I'm not mistaken, his first fight with Golden Boy, and then it damn near was a freaking disaster. So, as always, I want to get your take on it first, Andrew. What did you see?
When you text me, we were in the casino, and I forgot my wife had DAZN on her phone, dude. She turned it. That's when I send you the picture. I'm watching it on. So I watched rounds 5 and up through there. Thank you for texting me. Came home, watched the whole fight. I have Ramirez winning.
Sure.
But Barthélemy gave that fight up. Ramirez shouldn't have won it. I don't know what Barthélemy's doing, dude, but the guy can't stop a left hand, so let's just throw left hands. They were talking
or hooking, they always land.
They were talking about him not moving his head, which is I get that. To me, there wasn't even a flinch though. It's like, is Ramirez? I have to go back to watch Ramirez back in the day to see if he flinched or if he moved back in the day, because to me it looked like an eye problem, dude, like a vision issue. He doesn't.
Well, I think Pedraza is a southpaw, right? And I think he beat Pedraza, but I don't remember if I'm not sure right offhand if he got hit with so many left hands in that fight. And I don't remember, is Josh Taylor a southpaw too? I don't remember right offhand. But anyway, those are the ones that come to mind. Pedraza, I'm damn near sure, but even those guys, I don't remember him getting hit with that many left hands.
Clean left hands.
Yeah.
It was clean. It was like, bro, I thought he was gonna get knocked out. I really did. Barthélemy
fucked up by throwing those punches when he dropped, right?
Damn. Oh, come on.
He threw like 5 punches afterwards.
He might have been. He should have been DQ'd for that. I'm dead serious, bro. That second hook, he's hella lucky Ramirez got up from that. Most fighters wouldn't have got up. They would have been like, "Oh, dude, did you just hit me?" Like, bro, he's down there for a few seconds on that last hook. It felt like, you know what I mean? Like, totally uncalled for. He's very lucky Ramirez manned up, got up, and said he would fight on. Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. That was way too many punches. Ramirez took too many shots. Look, dude, that's what the fighting spirit is at round, what is it, round 4, I think it is, when the crowd started. Hey, it's 13,000 strong in Fresno, too. Shout out to Fresno for showing up to that fight, man. That fight, that looked packed out there. You know what I mean? That was pretty cool. I know Ramirez is a hometown kid. I've seen many hometown kids fight here in the Bay Area and it not look like 13,000 did in that night. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to them for packing that. They get it out of him, dude. They straight cheer him back into that fight, bro. That was a great moment for Ramirez if this is it for him, right? If this is his last run, meaning he'll get another, how does Bill Haney say it? Keep busy fight, right? Isn't that what he kept calling Garcia? Not didn't age well, but I think that's what he kept calling him. Keep busy fight. You get another one of those, and then you see which the big dogs is gonna fucking fight you, right? Because that's really what he's gunning for. He used to be a prospect. He used to be someone that I thought was gonna be a big dog in this sport, but it's not there. It's not there. It hasn't been for a few years, and last night was probably the worst that I've seen him look as far as defensively. And I know they talked about him not moving his head. I just don't remember Ramirez being that bad on defense. So I once again, we know what the internet says, and maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But one thing that is true is he was another fighter that was always had injuries and always had setbacks in his career. Now all of a sudden you're with the new promotional company and you're fucking standing in the line of fire like you got, like you just take them off the chin for breakfast. Like, dude, that's not how that's not how you got there. I don't believe that at all. That I don't remember Ramirez being that guy, right? Just gonna stand here and take it and give you back. But we'll see. Not that much of a future, man. Taking lefts off the face, Jose. I don't know. Ryan's gonna knock you out. Tank's gonna knock you out. Tank probably saying that. I was like, can I go to 140 just to fight him, then I'll come back to 135?
Yeah. He's like, can you give him a belt so I can take it from him and then I'll drop it again, please? Like, I'm a 2-time 140-pound champ. Like, okay, Tank, whatever you say. Yeah, that didn't look too good. I was looking it up here just now. I think Pedraza is considered ambidextrous, so he switches. But there was a few times where he, got in the southpaw position against Ramirez, and then Josh Taylor is a southpaw. So that one defeat, being to Taylor was to a southpaw. So maybe there's something there. Maybe it is a visual thing, or maybe his reflexes. I don't know what it could be at this point. But yeah, it was. We were looking at it and we're like, God damn it. And they mentioned it a few times during the broadcast, like he's dipping his head in that direction, to that direction. It's like, dude, circle the other way, go the other direction. Fuck that. We talked about it. The same thing with a few times with Haney. It's like, stop dipping in that fucking direction because you're gonna get stuck. And it just kept happening. Either the left was a straight left or it was a hooking left. He would just couldn't seem to freaking stop it. And that was, you brought up a really good point. It's almost Barthélemy giving up the fight. It was like,
yes,
dude,
man,
just go balls to the wall and throw that fucking left, because that's really what it was. I think Ramirez is lucky that Barthélemy didn't throw more left hooks, because it's everything. And then he got tagged, and then it just seemed like he was on shaky legs for the rest of the round. He was coming forward still, but it's like, damn, man. And maybe the scorecards could have been a little bit more for Barthélemy if that knockdown was legitimately called a knockdown.
We're on the same page, because I was just gonna say that's where I think Barthélemy looked like he was closer than what the fight actually was because he's losing the round. But then me and you seen the wiggle, right?
Yeah.
Everyone else don't. Sometimes not everyone catches the wiggle, but most diehards, most of the commentators, that punch got him. Maybe the refs were missing a few of these and weren't. But when we seen it, we're like, oh my God, he hurt him again. He hurt him again. Right? It's round 7. Oh, he hurt him again. Like, dude, it was getting that nervous for me watching him. Watching that fight, it was like every time he got an exchange and he got touched, it was like, how was he going to back up? You know what I mean? How was he going to look when he took the 2 steps back? Is he going to be on Wiggle Street, or is he going to come back at him? Loved his offense. That's everything that I that's Chavez Senior right there, man. Right hand, left hook, all power, no jabs, going to business. That was a fucking thing of beauty. But Chavez never took that many. Chavez is very good at slipping and also parrying punches on the inside. He just did that really good. And Jose wasn't showing that skill. so
yeah,
got to work on that half of. I remember Chavez said he did some kind of martial arts. I know I always say that, but he says that's what he gave his credit to his hand. His hands was on some kind of martial arts.
Oh, really?
Study. Yeah,
Wing Chun, maybe Wing Chun, because that's the only thing I can think of that does, like, I mean, they do like simultaneous blocks / punches, but that's the only thing that comes to mind. I mean, maybe it's more stuff. I'm sure there are plenty of other martial arts out there that do parry quite a bit. But
now you have a question for Mr. Senior when you see him, buddy.
Yeah. I will definitely do that. That if I run into him, I mean, hell, we're talking about Canelo this weekend, so there's a pretty good chance that he's going to be there, right? So, if I happen to run into him, be like, hey, if there isn't a mob of people trying to chase him down, I can probably ask him just a funny little question, be like, hey, didn't you train in martial art? I was loving fucking Ramirez's body shots, because to piggyback off what you were saying, there were a couple of times where he landed some gorgeous body shots, and you can see it. They're the little subtle moves that Barthélemy, you can like, oh, that hurt him. Like, he puts his hands down, he backs away, and we're like, God, keep going, keep going with those damn body shots. Didn't do that great of a job of cutting the ring off. He could have cornered Barthélemy a few times, but it doesn't seem like he was able to do that, or he was concerned with those straight left hands coming back at him. But overall, a decent, performance. He got himself a victory, and if you look at the scorecards, it was a one-sided ass whooping. But the fight, if you watch the fight, is a lot closer in that sense. But a little scary. I don't know, and mind you, I think that if I recall correctly, they were fighting at 147 or welterweight. But
yeah, I seen that.
It's just a one-time thing, I'm assuming, kind of like to get back into it, because he's gonna go back to 140, I assume.
I forgot the weights, but it really looked like it was Jose that was over. And I wonder if they just moved the fight to 147, right? But it did seem like like Barthélemy came in. I forgot what his weight was, but it looked like Barthélemy was on the weight, and
Mm.
then Ramirez wasn't. So now and I was wondering how that was going to work, but I knew it was a non-title fight and all that. This BS,
Sure.
right? But now that you say it's a welterweight, I was like, oh, that's how they fixed that. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's because I don't remember. When they mentioned it, I was like, "What? Since when does he fight at welterweight?" But I guess it was
And
just
he does, yeah. Isn't
yeah.
Barthelemy a lightweight? Where did he win his
He
title
was
at?
like, oh, I don't know actually. I'm not sure what weight class it wasn't, but he had fought at lightweight before. I know
Yeah.
that for sure. He was fighting at 135. I think he fought Robert Easter Jr. at 135 as well. So yeah, I'm fairly certain that it was primarily a lightweight, but you know. That's what happens when they offer you fucking money. You jump to weight classes if need to, right? If need be. But yeah, he got himself a decision victory. I don't know. Damn, I don't know if he can stand up, or if that chin can, stand up to the everybody else at 140. I mean, we understand Haney isn't exactly a power puncher at 140, but anybody else, it's like it's I'm not sure how well he'll do against everybody else. We tuned in to watch it because we know he was at one point one of the top 140 pounders out there, but against somebody like, I don't know, Regis or something, it's like shit. I don't know.
He got smoked by Taylor. I remember that fight was embarrassed. He got embarrassed that night. He got
Right.
dropped. He got handled, outboxed. So that wasn't a good look because that was like his moment right there, and he really got outshined. Um, I don't with the way he looked this weekend. I would say the future isn't as bright for Ramirez as I once thought it was going to be. He almost reminds me of the new Jojo Diaz. He's sort of
Mm,
not there yet, but that's him, right? Maybe he wins one more title and holds it for a few, and then we'll lose it to someone else. But there's not enough power there to keep the big dogs off. He's too excited. He's too brave for his own good, right? It's like
mm,
he's coming. He wants to go to the battle with the fucking, I don't know, a 22, and everyone else got machine guns. You know what I mean? It's like, bro,
right.
you're not bringing it hard enough to stay in the pocket the way that you do. And once these other guys know that you can't block the left side, like, all right, so let southpaws get to him. Well, does a left hook get to him? You know what I mean? Let's tell that
Yeah.
you're gonna have guys with a little bit more confident just coming with the left hook because they've seen you. To me, he wasn't even reacting. That's what I wanted Timothy
Mm.
Bradley to talk about. Like I know he kept saying he was, or it wasn't Timothy Bradley. Excuse me, the DAZN Mora and the
Oh, Sergio Mora.
Maddox
Yeah.
and them. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know they kept talking about the straight back. That's what I heard. Oh, he keeps moving straight back. He keeps moving
Mm.
straight back. But mine was about he wasn't even being an MMA, where they flinch.
Yeah.
MMA guys, they don't duck. They like prepare to take the shot, but they show you that they still seen the motherfucker coming, right?
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
can't do this
Yeah.
without seeing the punch coming.
Mhm.
To me, Ramirez, bap, bap. He's like, bro, what are you doing?
Oh man.
When he throw the frisbee at the
At the dog.
Howard
Like,
Stern threw the
huh.
frisbee, yeah, bink
Yeah.
right off the head.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's what makes me more nervous. That's what I kept thinking more of a vision issue than or is his reflexes that shot. There's so many red flags with the way he was taking those punches.
Yeah.
Telefimo Lopez, no. Are you serious right now? Like you can't. They got to be real picky with who they put him in the ring with. I'm gonna look at them to make him a feeder more than a future. Sorry,
Mm.
they're gonna feed him to somebody young and they're gonna take it back to Fresno because it does 13,000 seats. But I think they're gonna have their money on the other side.
Yeah, that's a very real possibility. He's gonna pretty much be demoted to an opponent, at this point. Really, like he has still some credibility to his name, to where like somebody else is coming up at 140 or
He
something
would
like
have
that. Be
knocked out
like,
Raleigh.
yeah, he would have.
That
Well, I mean,
that
he would have, yeah, but he would have taken some shots, because
Yeah, but I
Raleigh
guarantee
can
you,
swing, he can
that's the
crack.
guy he needs, though. That would have been the champion Golden Boy needed to put him in the ring with to get a belt around him to then turn him into a good feeder. If
Mhm.
they can't do that, he's still going to feed somebody, though. I
Mhm.
don't see him beating any of the top guys. I mean, now I know everyone wants to act like Devin Haney's hella suspect now, but I haven't seen Devin Haney lose at 140, and I'm going to continue to say that because he was cheated on that night, and it's a shame that I was more upset about it than the Haneys were, but I understand it because it would be him throwing his father under the bus, and they're not going to do that, right? Both men aren't going to turn on each other and go, "Well, he wanted to do it. I told him not to," and then the other guy go, "Oh no, it was you." So I get it. They got to lick their wounds. Hey, you see the young man was running again. Shout out to Haney for that. That's hella tight. Showing the kids, right? Takes a defeat. What's he out there? He's out there fucking running the very next week, right? Sees Oscar, got no hard feelings. They do a shout out to each other. It's all good. So I got to move on from that fight. As I move forward with Ryan, though, I'll never forget what he did. Listen, I've also got to say, I think we can clearly now confirm that the mob is no longer in sports, right? They don't belong. They're not in the casinos. There is no. Look, if the stories are true, and it's being reported by everyone, that's why you got to kind of think that this is true. Mm-hmm. Ryan Garcia placed $2 million on himself. He then cheated on the scale, came in 3 pounds overweight, and told everyone he cheated. He's been like on a now him and Floyd. Oh, I threw up that fucking thing. Now him and Floyd are all doing the 3, right? Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. So he told everyone he cheated just to score 12 million.
Yeah, the bet, right? The bet that he got. Yeah.
So he bet on himself. He cheats during the fucking fight, and he gets rewarded 12 million. Dude, the mob would never have allowed that to happen. Are you fucking kidding me? You think you're gonna walk into a casino and take 12 million from some boss on a cheat? Mm. Come on. What world do I live in that this happened, dude? I don't fucking get how this kid is bragging about the bet, being overweight on purpose, and then winning 12 million. Hey, I gotta give it to the dude's got balls. He's got balls that I don't even know if he knows what troubles he might have gotten himself into.
I don't think so. He's pretty.
I know, right? He did it all naive, like, and then one day that door is gonna knock.
Yeah, he's gonna find that fucking horse head in his bed. Find one.
That's how you think the story ends when you're messing with sports books and casinos, and 12 million was taken out of a building. So not only is 12 million taken out of a building, how many of those degenerate gamblers that bet on every underdog every weekend, they're there to put some money on the underdog? You wrote all plus $600 checks to them too.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? Somebody mentioned this, and I read it online, and it occurred to me, this is actually the second time Ryan has done that. Because when he fought Duarte, it was the same shit. He didn't come in at 140. He came in fucking heavy, but that was a comeback fight, so no one really gave 2 fucks about that. And that fight ended up being a catch weight of 143 or 144, whatever the fuck it was. So Duarte, it happened to Duarte, and it happened again with Haney. So that's 2 times in a row that this motherfucker has come in heavy. Maybe we can give him the benefit of the doubt and say the first time probably shouldn't have happened, and it was an accident, yada yada. Even though he never really said, oh, like what you said, I was busting my ass in the fucking sauna and I just couldn't drop the weight, yada yada. I don't remember him saying that, but regardless, that one seemed a little bit more legitimate, like he wasn't intentionally trying to come in heavy. We know now damn well he did that with Devin Haney, but hey, that's 2 times motherfuckers come in heavy. What the shit?
Remember we talked the day after when Ryan said he's never made 140? All 3 of his fights are at 143. Me and you aren't supposed to know that or remember that. Bill Haney is supposed to know that, though, and we talked about that, bro. That's where his team dropped the ball. When you're doing these contracts, this young man hasn't made weight in 2 fights back to back. How do you not have a 12 million per pound? Fucking take all of his fucking, you know what I mean? Bro, it's so weird. It's so fucking weird. And he's bragging about all of this on social media.
Yes.
And no one acts like it. Dude, you got guys, fighters, pro athletes, not even acknowledging what the fuck took place on that night. That's why I called the shit Ocean's 19 or whatever that movie's on. Yeah. It's a movie, bro. Yeah. He literally did a fight, signed a contract, did a plan that he was going to come in overweight, and then bet on himself and won it all. Won it all. They're saying he made over 50 million that night.
The only person that I've heard say that, and people are hating on him hard for it, is Timothy Bradley. Everybody else, and I understand it from like Chris Mannix and fucking Todd Grisham and Sergio Mora, they can't bite the hand that feeds them. DAZN is probably be like, motherfucker, shut the fuck up. You know, we got ourselves a star here in Ryan Garcia, so they can't say shit because DAZN is who signs their paychecks. Everybody else, I don't understand why they're not saying it, but Timothy
I
Bradley
think
is the only one that I know for sure has been saying that.
I'm talking about mainstream media. I'm not talking about
Okay.
boxing media. The mainstream has forgotten us. This is why the other day I said, are we in a professional sport, Miguel? Because back in the days, they would have talked about this. And is this the right way for a sport to go? But you know what? Maybe they're like, fuck that. Those guys have been thugs since the Ali days. They've been fixing fights. Fuck them.
You know, I don't think. I mean, probably, but I always, and maybe I'm wrong, but I always view the media in general, not necessarily boxing media, but them as just casuals. Like they don't give a fuck beyond the surface level.
Before
For
it
them,
wasn't.
oh, before it wasn't. I agree. Before it wasn't. It is now though, because on the
Well,
surface level, the media is saying this. Oh my gosh, Ryan fooled us all. He,
I know.
acted like a fool. So, we will all count him out. And then he comes in and mops the floor with Devin. What a fucking genius. That's what they're all saying.
I
And
know.
it's like, that's the thing the most casual of casual fan will fucking say. So that's pretty much what the media that isn't the boxing media are, in my opinion. They're just fucking casuals, really. So I get it. I don't. I would like for them to be the way it was before, because they would rip fucking Ryan a new asshole with the shit that he
Oh,
was putting
trust
out.
me.
Man.
This thing would have went. This thing would have went a lot bigger than what it was if this was really. If this was an NFL team where a player cheated and had a bet on his team to win, you're telling me this isn't fucking headline stories? Come on, Miguel.
Premeditated cheating. Premeditated.
Yes, and
Planned
he
out.
won, and
Yeah.
he bet on himself. Oh, always bet on yourself. Ugh. You can't do that in football or baseball. What the fuck is going on right now?
Mm.
Then the fact that he doesn't come in on the contracted weight, he gets rewarded 12 million. Bro, like, you guys don't understand how many other fighters are plotting this shit out right now. You don't
Yeah.
understand it. The belt don't mean shit if you could win 12 million fucking betting against on yourself and then cheating at the scale.
Mm-hmm. That belt doesn't mean shit. If the only thing that belt means is that you have to pay a fee to the sanctioning body, so it's like, nah, fuck that, fuck the belt. I would much rather get the knockout win or a big high profile win on pay per view than to win this fucking strap.
It's something that needs to be looked at. I'm so mad that I don't know what universe we're living in right now, Miguel, that it's me, you, and Timothy. It's you, me, and Timothy, buddy.
Yeah.
And Bradley, I've heard Bradley go after the cheating, the 3 pounds. I get all that. I'm on the side of, where the fuck is the casino at? Where are they at? Like, wait a minute. Hold on. Who took the $2 million bet from Ryan Garcia? Who took this bet? You're fired. You're fucking gone. We don't take bets from the guy that's in the fight. What the hell? And then when he came in 3 pounds overweight and told everyone he was lying, he was planning it. No, bro. Oh my God.
And then the arrogance to come in with a fucking beer in your hand to rub it in even more, even if it isn't really beer. That's not the point. The point is, you go on the scale, and usually 9 times out of 10, as soon as the fighter hop off the scale, they'll start chugging the Gatorade or whatever the fuck, because they want to be completely dry. This fucker was probably, with his clothes on, already chugging down, liquid, adding more pounds to the official weigh-in. And even he himself said it, I think later on, that he weighed in at 160 come fight night, like when he was already in the ring, right? And for all we know, maybe fucking Devin was too. But the point is, Devin still killed himself to make 140, and Ryan did. And that's the bottom line, is what ultimately comes down to, regardless of what weight they are fight night. Yeah, dude, that's some shit. Oh, go ahead.
And the last thing is on the casuals are the guys that make the argument that Devin deserved this because Devin did this to other people. I got to keep going back to, we don't penalize fighters for making weight and then blowing up the next day. We don't. I don't know why I don't know why this gets under people's skin so much. Like, oh, he weighed 130 yesterday, but today he weighs 154. Who gives a fuck? Did he weigh 130 at the time that he was supposed to weigh 130?
Mm-hmm.
And if he did, it's none of your business why he weighs 154 the next day. It really isn't. Tell the other guy to gain weight. And if he can't, tell him to move down in weight, stop moving up, because the big guys are coming down to fight the smaller guys. That's how all sports is. And the guys that dominate are usually the guys that know how to cut weight and drop as low as they can to take on the guys that are either not as big and can get to their level of strength, or the guys that are lazy, right? And you're taking on guys that are fighting out of their weight limit or wrestling out of their weight limit. This goes to wrestling too. Cutting weight means so much in so many sports. You are a casual if you tell me that a guy that cuts weight is the same as a guy who comes in 3 pounds overweight. You're a fucking casual. I'm sorry. You don't. I don't mean to be blunt, but that's what has to be said in this argument because it's so fucking stupid. I don't care. Oscar De La Hoya was 5'11". What is Oscar's height? 5'10"? He was like one of the tallest lightweights of all time. Did anyone penalize Oscar? Oh, he weighed 130 yesterday. Look at him today. No, we didn't. Fontura, is that how you say his name?
Yeah,
is fucking 6'5". Yeah. He's 6'5", bro. What business does that young man have dropping to 154? No, don't knock them for that. I don't knock Devin Haney. As Haney always respected the scale coming in on weight. That's an advantage to him for being able to gain so much overnight. And I'm just so over seeing that all over the internet of Haney's deserved this because of the Lomachenko. It's such bullshit. That is such a fucking, you must have bet on Ryan to be that fucking,
Yeah.
Oh no, that was straight fair what happened. So that's about all I got left with the Haney Ryan Garcia fight. Hopefully both of them are back in the ring soon because Ryan needs to get out of music fast.
Yes. I saw. Yeah, I think the video of his as rapping or something.
No, he's not rapping. No, he turned into like a male stripper sort of. If you've seen all of his performances, bro, he starts singing and then the shirt just rips off and he's like, and then his hype men take over the song. The hype men must have wrote the song, bro, because they know all the fucking lyrics. These Ryan has done the worst at singing. Even when Keisha Cole, did you see him when he was singing her song? The Keisha Cole, it was like on Monday night of the fight. Bro, he doesn't know one word. He's only dude. He's coming in and out. It's like, Ryan, you're fucking pretending. Stop it. Yeah. You're a fucking child when this song probably came out. Stop it. His own rap song, he doesn't even know the words to. He doesn't know the words to his own song, bro. It's the other guys. The two guys sitting, those two guys next to him, they're the ones that made whatever fucking lyrics it. Oh, that song. Yeah, Ryan's worse than Pacquiao and De La Hoya, bro. Are there any others? Oh, Adrian Broner.
Roy Jones. Roy Jones,
he's worse than him.
I must have forgot.
That was a great song.
Yeah, it was a great song. I mean, shit, I remember the name of the damn title. I don't even know a damn fucking song that either one of them. As a matter of fact, out of a joke back in the day, we fucking bought like this Manny Pacquiao CD on like eBay or some shit. Like we didn't understand any of the lyrics or anything, but we bought it just for the sake. Because I mean, that's next? Ryan's gonna come in rapping to his own shit. That's gonna be next,
Oh yeah.
They usually come in with a rapper singing someone else. I mean, singing another song. No, he's gonna come in rap into his own shit. He's gonna come in with one of these headphones and be rapping to his own shit on his way to the ring. That's gonna be
lip singing. But yeah, I hear you. Or his other guy, dude, he's so funny. Then the shirt comes off, and that's all he is. Now he's just a male stripper. And now the other guys are the only ones singing. Ryan's just doing flexing for the girls. And we will see. But we need him back in the ring. We need him out of the music world. He doesn't belong there.
Agreed. And definitely not at 140 because that's obviously not going to happen, right? I mean, hell, not even 147 according to him. He's already thinking 154. That was actually one of the other topics that I want to talk about once we finish this fight with this recap of last weekend's fights.
Miguel.
Yes.
What were the pay-per-view numbers? Do you have any word of those, please, sir?
So I got two numbers, completely opposite sides of the fucking spectrum. All right.
Oh shit! Here we go.
We don't know who's all right. Someone on Twitter, all right, said on Twitter, and probably no real source for all I fucking know.
Oh my gosh! Wait a minute.
Yeah,
that's your sources.
Well, here's the thing. Listen. Ryan went as far as to reply to this motherfucker.
All right, there you go.
That's what I was like, hold up. Why would Ryan give two fucks if this some dude just made up some fucking numbers? This son of a bitch said between 200K and 215K, 215,000 pay-per-view buys. That's like super low, right?
That's low.
And immediately Ryan replies to this dude on Twitter, on X, whatever, and it says, "Shut the fuck up." Like, all right, well, I guess so. Why would he give two rat's ass about some random dude? Seems a little sus.
And then not even throw a number back. You know what I mean?
Back, right?
Yeah.
When he was asked, all he said is like, "Oh yeah, it's good. It's good." That's all he's saying. And he's getting word from De La Hoya, and we have heard David De La Hoya say, we talked about it before about the kind of closed circuit pay-per-view numbers or closed circuit numbers that usually a lot of restaurants get in, and De La Hoya probably got word of that, right? And that's why he's like, "Oh yeah, it's good." And then Ryan ends up regurgitating the exact same thing. It's like, "Oh yeah, the numbers are good. The numbers are good." Well, someone else tweeted that when Ryan and Gervonta fought, like the numbers were out literally like the following Tuesday or Wednesday. We're over a week now at this point, and we still haven't got a fucking. So that is fishy. Now, whether it's 200,000, 215, between 200,000, 250,000 pay-per-view buys, I don't know, because the other number that I received or found was Eddie Hearn saying that it did 900,000 pay-per-view buys. Now, that's damn near a million. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Now, did we think it was going to be that amount? I'm sure De La Hoya probably thought it was going to be more, but regardless, that's pretty damn significant, and that I think that's good. That's to be proud of a number like that. They still haven't released the numbers though.
That's what scares me.
That's the scary part. So if it really was what Eddie Hearn's saying and how he found out, I have no fucking idea. Because I mean, his match room, he's DAZN, but he's not with DAZN per se. It's match room himself, right? So they weren't involved in that fight, match room at least. Not that I remember. I just know that they're on DAZN. But anyway, my point is the fact that we don't have the numbers yet, and it's already over a week. I don't think it's 900,000. Sorry, Eddie.
How about this?
In a circle more than I am, but fucking hell, yeah.
How about this? He's saving it for Canelo's week to say what the new face of boxing did, because he's going to call Ryan the new face to rub it in Canelo's. That'll be Ryan's second fight of doing 900,000 plus buys, right?
Yeah.
Canelo hasn't done that in fucking, I don't know, 5 years, bro. I don't know, HBO. I don't even know last time Canelo's done 900,000.
Yeah.
I know the last 5 fights have been bad.
I think the only one that came close, I think, was might have been Triple G, the Triple G rematch or trilogy, whatever. That's I think that one or the Caleb Plant fight, but no, he hasn't broken the million for a minute, and I don't even know if he got close to the 900,000. But that seems like a pretty logical theory,
right?
Hypothesis that he's going to.
Oscar was begging Eddie, please don't say shit. Please let me just drop it. Let me drop it. You know, who knows, man? But you're absolutely right. The fact that they don't have anything out official yet, because you would think if Oscar had 900,000 buys, he's partying on that night when he's releasing those numbers, right? We would already got Oscar saying who's the man, who runs this sport, what company is generated, blah, 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 blah. I just see it. Oscar. We all know Oscar. I got to think it's about this week. We're going to see maybe, hopefully, something this week. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I don't even, what the fuck? If that fight only did 200,000 buys.
That's bad. That's
boxing
that's
really boxing's in a real bad spot, man.
Yes. That was one of the other topics that I wanted to talk about, but I can leave that for like a different, because I want to wait. I want to do the same thing. It's a topic I want to touch on, and I've kind of had it on like the back burner for a little bit because I did want to wait until after Canelo and Munguia. But to your hypothesis, De La Hoya has a dog in the race too. He's got Munguia in there, so like if that ends up not being as much, or I mean, because he has his hands in two pots here. He had it in Haney and Garcia, and he has it over here as well with De La Hoya and I'm sorry, Munguia and Canelo. So um, it yeah, if this ends up being Garcia and Haney, and he releases the numbers later, and it turns out that it's a lot more than we were suspecting, does that not say something about the lack of star power of Munguia?
Yes, and Munguia is not Ryan Garcia. So
Uh-huh.
see, Oscar holds the cards in the Garcia Haney fight. Oscar was holding the ace card.
Okay.
In the Canelo Munguia fight, he's holding the jack card, right?
Okay.
Yeah, well, he is.
Yeah.
Canelo's the ace in that one. He's
Sure.
the one that's driving the pay-per-view. So it's still more of a dig at Canelo because Haney was not considered, even though he had been on pay-per-view, was not considered a pay-per-view attraction. I think his one pay-per-view did under 200,000 buys, if I'm
Mhm.
not mistaken. Um, so he's not the draw. It's still a big plus for Oscar going up against, which I'd gotta say, it's really foolish how them two kind of turned on each other. I really don't get it. They've even carried it into this promotion. You got Canelo the other day. I don't even want him in my life. He did sound like a hurt. You and Lee always say they sounded like a divorce.
Yeah.
Why that headline? You know what I mean? I don't even want him in my life. Like, what the fuck, bro? Did Oscar hurt your? Do you need to tell us something, Canelo? Like, what the
Mm.
fuck, man? You guys made hella money together. You're right. You had the richest sports contract in history. You're that mad over a fucking. Ooh, but he wanted me to fight Triple G. I didn't want to fight him. So now you hate them. He can't even be in the same room as you. Fuck out of here. What the fuck do you think the zone wanted? You to fight Plant? Fuck is
Right.
what?
Yeah. No, and De La Hoya side too. Like I was watching some interview with him at some, I think it was like a radio station or something, and he is like, yeah, I want Munguia to beat his ass. It's like, and then he goes into this like long tirade about like how he made Canelo, right, and Canelo basically turned his back on him or some shit, and it's like, oh, what is this? This is the direction that we're gonna go, I suppose. But like now, that's what like let's not make that fight about that. That's
I
not the
know.
main event. It's Munguia. It's fucking Canelo. Like, let's not make it about. And I know there's already this built-in storyline, of course, of the beef that he has with Canelo has with De La Hoya. But it's like let's not leave. Let's not make that the headline. Let's not do that. Let's make it what happens in the ring, because it's business, right? And like, look, I've never been in a situation where there's multi-million dollars at stake and somebody disagrees with you and then you have to part ways. But at the end of the day, it's business. It's not supposed to be personal. It's like, hey, okay, nothing personal. Yeah, it goes that direction. Fine, peace. Here's your piece and here's my piece. Or we'll go to court. I don't give a fuck. Whatever the hell that's gonna happen. But at the end of the day, like, it's gonna have to be in, on paper. It's business. And it just sounds like they're bitter, and that's just pretty much what it is. Either one of them sound like they're bitter as fucking ex-girlfriend. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping they don't go further into that and make the fight of that get about that, because that's all I'm hearing. Every time De La Hoya gets on the damn mic, he's talking about Canelo in some degree and not about fucking Munguia. So we'll see what that pay-per-view number does, and
Ken,
see if maybe afterwards we get Haney Garcia. Was that?
you keep saying it's business.
Mhm.
It keeps me thinking, did Canelo pick Munguia? And what I mean by that is, when Barrera fought Marquez,
Mhm.
I went to Vegas with the theory that he was giving that fight to Marquez for the Manny Pacquiao. I don't think Barrera wanted to rematch him. Now, I know Barrera ends up rematching Manny later on, but I
Yeah.
think at that time, I don't think Barrera really wanted it. And him and Marquez signed a fight. It's a 12-round decision. Goes to Marquez. Boom. The keys are like handed over to Juan Manuel. He goes and takes on Manny.
Mhm.
Do you think it's possible Canelo is ready to step away here, and picked Munguia as a fighter to step away from?
Um. Uh. Yikes! That's a terrible choice. If that
I
is what
know.
happened, because
Well,
I
he didn't want
I
to
have
give
to
it.
say, huh?
He didn't want to give it to Benavidez.
No, he didn't. I mean, and that's what I was gonna say. Actually, I was like, Benavidez is probably the better fucking choice. They're both close in age. I think Munguia and Benavidez are similar in age, so they have a lot of miles to go. They don't have that many miles on the odometer, so they have, as long as everything goes well and they're healthy, whatever, their careers could be very very long, and their end of their career will be far from now. But geez, that is and the question has been asked several times by different media outlets, like who's the next cash cow, who's the next media whatever, who is the next guy who's going to be the next superstar. If that is what Canelo's trying to do with Munguia and basically like pass the torch to him to carry it on, that's a terrible fucking choice. I
You
hope
know,
that's not the fucking case.
we keep talking about him and Benavidez being the same, a better option. I keep telling you, and I'm gonna keep telling Fight Net Radio, Born Mexicans do not think of Mexican Americans the same as we do them.
Right, right.
All right, it's just different, man. They don't run around with American flags on our holidays like
No,
we
no.
run around with Mexican flags on theirs. Okay.
Mhm.
So Benavidez is not an option. He's a gringo.
Mhm.
He's not a Mexicano. He's not
Mhm.
them. I know everyone hates when we go down this path, or when I go
No,
down this
no,
path. It's a real
it's
touchy.
the ugly truth, but it's the
It's
fucking
the
truth
ugly truth,
regardless. Yeah,
yes. And every once in a while, they lift their head and they'll say it. You know what I mean? You'll get those fights
yeah,
where it's a Mexican versus Mexican American. First thing, he ain't really Mexican. Like, he said it. He said
yeah.
it. I
I
knew
think
you
Marquez
wanted to
said it.
say it.
I think Marquez said it about Juan
Yeah.
Diaz too. And as soon as he said it, because when we heard it, I was like, oh shit! It's like, oh really? We're gonna go there? Okay, fine. We're gonna go there. Jeez, I'm butthurt. Fuck. God damn. Okay, let's go. Fucking Juan Diaz. God damn. But no, you're right, dude. I mean, that is true. Like maybe that's the case. Because I mean, who else, huh? Who else? Really? There's
Yes.
nobody else. It's almost goddamn that. I mean, does that speak more to the state of boxing than it does really anything else? That he's gonna. I mean, okay. So here's the thing, right? We were gonna do the show yesterday, right? Normally we do the shows on Sundays, right? We didn't do the show. I had a dream. If I can quote,
Uh-oh. Here we
yeah,
go.
the king. I had a dream. All right. I fucking dreamt last night. For those of you who don't already know, I'm of Mexican descent. I have family in Tijuana. My grandmother passed away several years ago, and she left us a property, a house, right? That's where
Nice.
my dad grew up. My dad and my uncle grew up, and we go back there regularly whenever we have to, right? I dreamt that I was there in Tijuana last night, right? And I was dreaming that I was in Tijuana, and Canelo fucking lost, dude. I dreamt that motherfucker lost. I was watching the fight, the card. I was watching the pay-per-view card in Tijuana, and I fell asleep. I was like, this card sucks, and I fucking fell asleep. I wake up, and there's some sort of parade going on in the streets, unrelated to the fight, just something else going on. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? So I pull out my phone, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on, right? And not realizing that it's not related. And I see this Instagram post. This is all in a dream, mind you. Instagram
It's awesome. You got to detail
that
that stream. That's
dude,
awesome. Go ahead.
I told myself I was gonna remember this, so I could, and I'm glad that we're doing the show today to give myself that night to actually, for that to have actually happened. But it's so corny because you know how dreams don't make sense sometimes, right? I'm going through my Instagram and there's like a post of like Munguia be like hoisted on someone's shoulders. You know, when you win, right? They put you on your shoulders sometimes, and he has this like corny looking green trophy. Instead of a belt, there's a trophy, right? I was like, what? I'm like, and it was like a close split decision, but fucking Munguia won. I was like, no way, he beat Canelo, and I missed it because I fell asleep. And according in the dream, right? So when I woke up and I was like, dude, I'm gonna try to remember every, because sometimes you forget, right? You wake up knowing what you dreamt, and then throughout the day you forget, and you're like, damn it, what did I forget? What I forgot what I dreamt about. I made it a point to like recite it several times so I can mention on this fucking show. So I'm kind of glad we didn't do the show yesterday, because last night I dreamt that shit. I'm like, what a weird fucking thing to dream about. Obviously, you know what's on my mind right when I go to bed watching it. But it was so weird. It was the image of like Munguia with a trophy, not a belt, a trophy, right? That doesn't make any sense. But it was green, and he was like, hoisted on someone's shoulder. I'm like, this fucker he beat, a close to split decision. He beat Canelo. Anyway, so back to your point, like that might be it. That might be it. He chose him because I've heard Canelo say that he has still roughly 5 years left. That's what I mean. I think he said like a year or two ago of what he anticipates his career is going to be at this point. Still a few more years before he calls it quits. So if that is the case, maybe he's going to pull the trigger on it a lot sooner because it's like, who else if not Munguia?
It, it's not even. I don't even know if it's coming and it's coming down to who else. I think it's coming down to there's not a platform that wants to pay him what he thinks he's worth. Why would you fight for like could you imagine him coming back and now his money's on the decline, he's not even losing, but your money has to be on the decline because ladies and gentlemen, you can go to Google and do the pay-per-view numbers yourself. You're going to see Canelo has been failing in pay-per-view in America for a minute. Probably DAZN hasn't had a good run, did not have a good run with him on the pay-per-view. They really didn't.
Since HBO left, even in Showtime, since HBO left, I think his numbers haven't been the same.
Yeah, so he doesn't have a platform. This last fight, he literally went to two guys, couldn't strike a deal, and then somehow struck a deal with both of them working together in some weird. They're not even fighting under Al Heyman, but they're using Al Heyman's platform. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a weird thing that's going on right now in Canelo's life where he's already made the 300 and something million. The money's in the bank. As long as he didn't fuck it off, he should be set for life today. Mm-hmm. There is no reason to move forward. So moving forward, fight Benavidez, a guy who's right now contending at what weight division is
175?
175. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I thought, oh no, that's Ramirez that moved up. They want Benavidez to move up to fight Ramirez. Mm. You know that's the fight. So he's already looking at cruiserweight, correct? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. He's not Canelo size, people. So you fight him. Then we got Terrence. And you know what? I know us diehards, there might be about 10 of us now in boxing. That's what the numbers are looking like. Yeah, we want to see the fight, Miguel, but is the fight real? Does a fight make real money for both of those men? Because Terrence ain't fighting fucking Saul for pennies.
Right.
So now you got to make, what, 75 million before anyone else gets a fucking hand in the cookie jar? Does that fight really generate that? When we look at both of those men's pay-per-views, he fought Spence. Canelo's fought in everyone. They don't match up to make 75 million.
Well, let me throw a curveball at you. What if, what you said earlier, there's no platform that's willing to be like, dude, look at your pay-per-view numbers. We ain't gonna give you X amount of dollars. Like, fuck that, Canelo. What about His Excellency? I mean,
good point.
What about there? Like, granted, it's not necessarily a platform per se, but if he's gonna come in with deep pockets and a checkbook, the fights can be made.
I like him. He hasn't made a fight of that caliber yet. Okay? The heavyweight fights that he's done have been good, but they ain't 75 million in the pocket. Right? This is 75 million and I'm throwing that out because I'm thinking Terrence is going to make 25 million and Canelo wants 50 million. That's how I'm doing that one.
Okay.
Right? Do you want to do only 30? If you want to do 30 million, because I think he's making more than Ryan Garcia and these guys, right? He's not going to come in cheaper than them.
No, you're right. Yeah, because there's no way he's going to get any less than. And like you said, it is rumored that that Garcia got 50. So I can anticipate him having more. I mean, he's the cash cow currently, at least.
That's what I think his dilemma is, right? He's like like everyone's like, no, you're not, and he's like, yes, I am, and so he'd rather say, fuck you guys. How about I just go home, And it's all right because he has fought in there, and that's why he said the other day, I'm cool with my career. I don't need to keep fighting every guy that you send through the door just because you say he's the next. What do you say after him? It's gonna be someone else, right? It's a never-ending story. So Munguia has the offense, you guys, to pull this off. He's a fucking tornado when it comes to punches, right? Is that a good description? He just throws a lot, bro. He's coming. He's coming at you. Canelo likes to sleep on the ropes and do all this pretty, I'm going to counter you.
Take rounds off.
Take rounds off.
He does.
There's a recipe here. If Canelo really wanted to just, all right, kid, whatever, kid.
Mhm.
All of a sudden, 15 punches went by. You ain't thrown one, Saul, you got to throw back. But he's just, going through the motions.
Mm.
And we won't knock him because that's sort of been Saul's whole life. If he really gets outworked, ain't no one going to be like, that was a fixed fucking fight. You got outworked. That's been said about him in a few Austin Trout fight, freaking Lara,
Yeah,
Triple G #1. They said he got outworked in all those fights.
sure.
Possibly Triple G too. I had him winning. I'm just saying what the narrative has been on his career, right?
He was getting outworked against Khan until he fucking blammoed his ass.
There
So
you
he was
go.
getting outworked against Khan too. Yeah.
So there's an avenue here where if Canelo isn't totally up to par on his career, he has a way out with Munguia, because Munguia is going out. He has the potential of out throwing Saul Alvarez on May 4th. Is it this Saturday?
This Saturday, yeah, exactly. It's fight week. It's fight week, man. That's what I'm saying. Like I was waiting for Monday to show up because like I couldn't find anything online as far as like what the schedule is. But Tuesday, I'm gonna try to be there tomorrow, which is the grand arrivals, and then Wednesday the open or media workouts, and then Thursday I won't be able to make it. It's the press conference. They won't let me in anyway, and Friday I won't be able to make it to the weigh-ins, but at least get some sort of footage. But yeah, it's fight week, man. It's this Monday. It's literally this Saturday already.
I don't see him. I don't think he's that desperate where he's going to turn into one of these fighters that fight into his 40s and all that. Canelo has seemed like he's always been. He had a good head on his shoulders, right? No fancy jewelry. He likes cars. He likes horses, but none of the other.
No. Well, he has
party.
I mean, that he has like I think an energy drink.
Oh no.
It's like, and there's a big, I should have taken a picture of it. I saw it today, as a matter of fact, down a similar road that I was driving earlier today. There's a billboard, and it's like VMC, which is like an acronym for, or not an acronym, initials for what he says. Well, this is a very common phrase with Mexicans. It's "Viva Mexico, cabrones." That's what it says, right? That's what it stands for, right? So it's like, I think it's either like some sort of caffeinated, maybe like a cold brew drink or an energy drink or some shit. Like that's like on a golden can or some shit. But basically, it's a rock star or something like that. But that's what it is, VMC. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And then of course, like I see it underneath, and I was like, oh, that's what the fuck that means. Well, I was like, well, I should have known. But he has his own, I've heard him doing other stuff too, like cell phone towers or some shit. I don't know what the hell else he does, but stuff like that in Mexico. But he has an energy drink as well. So you're right. He's most certainly isn't desperate. My dad has been saying this all the time. Like people are coming at him so much to fight Benavides that at the end of the day, he's gonna get so fed up and he's like, no, I'm not gonna fight him. Like, there you go. You guys, simmer in your fucking bitterness and your hate and want to see me fight this motherfucker. But no, I won't give you that satisfaction. It's sort of like when Marquez fought Pacquiao the fourth time and he knocked him out, right? There was like a lot of money being thrown at Marquez to have a fifth fight with him to basically get that win back. And he's like, nah, I'm cool. I'm out of here. Like I'll let y'all sleep with that shit. So that's kind of the direction that my dad is going with that. He's like, yeah, be cool if you, at the end of the day, he's like, nah, fuck that, I ain't fighting him. I'm gonna kiss my ass.
And he knows how to hold a grudge. If you think at his reason why he hates Oscar is because of the Triple G third fight that he didn't want, but Oscar, I guess, approved of it before he is like, bro, that's why you've been hating him for this long? Like, hey, I could just see Canelo like, oh, you want me to fight Benavides? I don't want you in my life anymore. Please get him out of my life. Yeah. You're gone. You're cut, bro. You're out of here. Like, I don't think Canelo has a problem with cutting everyone out of his life that wanted him to fight Benavides. So that's just my theory. That's my little what if,
hey,
right?
That makes sense. I like to put on the tinfoil hat and be like,
yes.
This is my crystal ball. This is what I see. This is, because that's one of the things I loved about FNR, and it's one of the things I love about doing this show with you, is that we have those ideas. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't, I mean, maybe for whatever the fuck reason, they can't say them or they just don't think of them. But it's like, the things that we've said and things that we've done, whether it comes true or not, is not really the point. It's the fact that we're trying to connect the dots from what we're seeing, and we're like, no, this is from back here, this looks different. So that may be the case. It may very well be that Canelo's, like, Oh well, this is the chosen one, I guess. This is the real chosen one. This is the guy that I'm gonna pass the torch to, and this is why I chose him, a legitimate Mexican-born fighter, and he's young and he's undefeated. Boom, I make him a star. I make him famous by passing the torch to that motherfucker. And whether or not he takes it is another story. By this point, I've already cleaned my hands of it, and I'm out with my energy drinks and shit. But that makes sense. That's a very real possibility.
Yeah. So Saturday night, see what this fight's about. It could be one of those sad moments for the Canelo fans, though. We could be seeing the end of an era here. Because look, he's got to. I don't want to get into the fight. We're gonna get into the fight a little bit later, but yeah, he's gonna have to bring it because Munguia is definitely gonna be there.
Very good point. Very good point. I was going to pull up the odds here, but we'll do that at the end of the show to bring that up as well. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about before we get into the details of our Munguia and Canelo is, have you heard of this thing of going on with Floyd Mayweather being basically held hostage for that? I don't know if that's the word I wanna use, but back when the fucking it was, I think it was Fury, when Fury and Usyk didn't happen in February, right? And then there was like some sort of additional clause that was like a pull out clause. You don't pull out, otherwise you pay X amount of dollars. And you brought up the point. They're like, I wonder if these fuckers like can't leave. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of we're seeing it
Right.
now. Now something's going on with Floyd. Being like, I don't know what the hell Floyd, and maybe his dumbass flaunting money or something. But have you read this shit? Like everybody.
Yes.
Tank to the Mike Benson talking about how he's like stuck in Dubai or where the fuck it is.
Yeah. Tank is saying he owes them money for some things that he collected and then didn't come through with. What that is, I have no idea. We know he's been linked to a bunch of exhibition fights, right?
Mhm.
Maybe there was a fight that they paid him for. Floyd had second thoughts of, and I don't know what's going on. But listen,
Mhm.
Tank Davis called him out, said, "Go on live right now and call me a liar if I'm
Mhm.
lying." I still haven't seen Floyd Mayweather online since that tweet has come out or post,
Mhm.
whatever. Um, there's got to be smoke. There's got to be fire around this one, right? At the where you see smoke, there's fire. There has
Mhm.
to be fire here, bro. There really does, because I think that's something Floyd would have been in his pool at his house. He would have been at one of his houses, like, yeah, right. I'm the richest guy there is. Don't you see like a watch video coming soon or something where he's playing with all his
Yeah.
jewelry like some
Mhm.
female? It's just Floyd, man. Floyd. So all Floyd posted was the sugar in the tank. Did you see this one?
No. No.
So he posted, basically, Gervonta Davis has a few videos out there that he posts himself where he kind of questioned his body movements, right?
Okay.
Like there's ones where he's kind of standing with his hands crossed and his legs are crossed. Just doesn't look like a world champion, right?
Okay.
Um, Suspect, where guys that say, "Oh no, man, that's suspect, man." There's Gervonta. He loves. I don't know if he's playing with people or he's just being Gervonta. You know what I mean?
Just being
Maybe
a goof.
that's him, and
Okay.
you just don't know. I
Okay.
don't fucking know. But
Mm.
there's one where he's dancing really weird, bro, and Floyd put that out and goes, "I guess something like y'all didn't know he had a little sugar in his tank." And yeah,
Uh,
and then Tank Davis responded, "There ain't no sugar in my tank."
oh, fuck.
Total Canelo, the De La
Yeah.
Hoya vibes. But yeah,
Like fighting on fucking social media.
you know
Uh.
what I hate about these two though?
Uh.
Then Mayweather will be there after the fight. They're all hugging, fucking. You know what I mean? Leonard Allerby's there. It's like, all right, are they enemies? Are they friends? Like the relationship between Gervonta and Floyd, I do not understand. I literally, they're off and on. They're like one of those broken ass relationships, off and
Yeah.
on, off and
Yeah.
on.
Toxic ass shit.
Yes, and so yeah, I guess Floyd's not working with him on this fight. Is that has that been confirmed? Is he by himself now, or is he still under Mayweather Promotions?
That's a good question. I haven't heard. I mean, last I remember that he said, Gervonta, that he's not with Floyd, that he left Floyd or whatever. And then sometime later, I heard Leonard Allaby say like, no, no, yeah, he is. So I mean, who do we believe? You know, I mean,
Right.
I would probably lean towards believing Leonard Allaby. Honestly, like he's
Yes.
the one that probably does fucking paperwork and stuff like that. So I would have to assume that he knows what's going on. But yeah, they have a weird relationship, don't they? It's pretty strange. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know if they're fucking beefing or are they just trolling us.
Yeah, because I've seen that in the comments where someone says you're just doing this for pay-per-view buys.
Hmm.
And we've seen this kind of behavior before where they act like they hate each other before the fight, and then like I said, after the fight, Floyd's there, they're hugging, they're like acting like it was a big joke.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with this one, but I don't know if Floyd would actually allow him to be, let's act like you're broke to sell a paper. Well, Lee would then hit me with, he said he couldn't read, right? If a man says he can't read to sell a pay-per-view, he'll
Yeah.
say he'll go broke too. So
Mhm.
fuck, man, it's fucking Floyd. Who really? And then you're the same. I don't want to call you a piece of shit, but for what you did to the Haneys, if you really were the mastermind behind getting in Ryan's ear and making him gain weight and kind of teaching him how to cheat in this sport, you are a
Mhm.
piece of shit. I'm telling you, he affected this sport way more than what we're giving Ryan credit for right now. In the future, we're going to look at
Negatively,
what he
negatively.
did negatively. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
This will come up again. You will have some thug who's seen what he did. Like, bro, my next title fight. My next title fight. Come on. Now we're rewarding being an asshole.
Mhm.
Bill, you so fucked up. Bill or Devin, whoever made the decision to move forward with this, you know how good you guys would have looked if you walk. If you tell them no, you know what? You've disrespected us this whole fucking time. You disrespected the sport. We will not give you this fight after coming in 3 pounds drinking a beer. We're
Mhm.
gone.
Yeah, and,
Ah,
and here's the thing. Look, if we're gonna, this is after all a fight, right? So I don't, to some degree, I really don't give a shit about the disrespect. You're gonna try to get under your opponent's skin. I get it, and there are times where sometimes you just go over the line and you talk
of
about a person's
course.
family and shit like that. It happens. Okay, I get it, and that's not exactly the kind of sportsmanship we want to see in a fight, but it's just words, for fuck's sake, right? When you actually take actions and actually come in overweight deliberately, that's when I think the line is drawn. It's like, look, you can say whatever the fuck you want to say about my mom, yada yada. We're hyping up the fight, or even if you do mean it, I don't give two fucks what you say. You're trying to get everything amped up and people get interested in the fight to buy the pay-per-view. Fine. We'll go that route because it's just words. But when you actually deliberately come in heavy, that you had
Mhm.
planned from the beginning, no later than the damn ink dried on the fucking contract. You had the plan set in motion to ensure that you don't come in on weight. That's where I have a problem with it. It's like at that point, you were right. Devin and his team should have been like, fuck no. I don't give a rat's ass that people were pissed at him. It's like, don't be pissed at me. Be pissed at that fat fuck. Not at me.
Yep.
There's a reason why when somebody comes in heavy, what do? They go to the opponent and they ask him, "Hey, do you want to continue? Do you want to keep doing it?" There's a reason they do that. Why? Because they're the ones that at the end of the day the ball is in their court. So
Yep. Putting up the
out of
risk.
courtesy, out of respect, you go to the opponent and you say, hey, do you want to continue with the fight? So at that point they assess the risk and they take the money in if they want to accept it. And we've said it before, we're not going to absolve Devin and his team of responsibility here, because at the end of the day they took the money like dumb fucks and they got their ass handed to them bad.
If
So
you're
they took the money.
if you're Dorlome, you take the money because you're a veteran. No one gives a shit about your career,
Yeah.
and now they're offering you an extra 50 grand, 100 grand. That's money
Right.
you'll never see in your life without this dude being overweight. You're gonna take that fucking money. If
Yeah.
you're Oscar Duarte, you're gonna take that money. There's situations where guys can dictate the fight, right?
Mhm,
Because they're
mhm.
the A side. You're never gonna get this type of money without fighting this guy. So you just kind of put your hands behind your back and go with whatever.
Yeah.
When you're fucking Devin Haney, undefeated, undisputed, already have a Hall of Fame resume. No, 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 we're not selling our zero. And that's what they did. They sold their zero. And that money that they took is not even going to come close to what they would have made if they would have kept that 0 and fought Ryan on a different day when he respected himself and the sport a little bit more. But like I said, I can't be madder than the Haneys. I get why they got to tuck their tail and walk, and that's something I guess that's just we're all gonna have to bite down on this one. But look, moving forward, Ryan Garcia is now Don King to me when it comes to negotiations. You got to watch this snake. You got to fucking watch him, right? Because you don't know what he's really thinking. Sure. And 2, you got to stop the next Ryan Garcia from happening because it's a bullshit sport. Bro, if our sport isn't even under a microscope anymore, like we're literally stuff like this can just happen and no one cares, it's not a professional sport. This wouldn't happen in football. This wouldn't happen in baseball. This wouldn't happen. Matter of fact, the NBA just banned someone who bet on themselves. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And like for life, right?
Yeah, banned them. Yeah. Gone, bro. What happened to the pitcher over in the LA Dodgers? What's happened to I don't know, a dozen guys in the NFL since
Pete Rose, no? Isn't that what
Pete Rose? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. This dude bets $2 million on himself, skips weight, and we're like, oh, hey, he's hella smart. Hey, props to you, Ryan.
Yeah. Oh, you fooled us all, Ryan.
Yeah.
You fooled our no, yeah.
Rude awakening.
He set a precedent that is gonna be. We're gonna have to fucking start calling it the Ryan Garcia rule. Like, just hey, don't get Ryan, don't get Devin Haney. You know.
Yep.
It's gonna come to that. Yeah, that's some shit. I mean, I don't know how we fucking got back into this conversation, but yeah, that's some shit. That's
Bing. Sorry, bro.
I forgot where we were going with this, but no. But I mean, back to Floyd. If Floyd really was the dude who fucking gave Ryan, like, you know, because we did do it with Marquez, right? So he did it with Marquez, so it's plausible. Plausible, but I mean, you know, and I don't know. Do you think? If that was the case, do you think De La Hoya would have been okay with it? Like, would he have had a word in it and be like, you know, because I mean, obviously he was in it too, so he had to have lit that shit, right? To be like, all right, let's do it, because there's no fucking way he's gonna not know about it, right?
Oscar is only Ryan's promoter because there's a contract. We got to get that clear. There's a rumor right now that Bernard still isn't talking to Garcia, so he's only cool with half of his promotional company. The other guy don't even like him still, and I don't think Ryan did that much to get a man of Bernard Hopkins' class, right? A guy that's took boxing serious his whole fucking since the age of 25. Because he got out of prison, then he gets in, or it's during prison. But you guys hear what I'm saying. He's not a youngster getting in. He's a little bit older, but he's respected the shit out of the sport. You've ever seen how in shape Bernard has been? You ever hear his stories of never partying? Discipline, yeah. Only eats one piece of cake. He told us that in the media room one time. He only eats one piece of cake per year, bro. How many men can say that in that room, right? So there's a different level of respect with Bernard for the sport. I don't think Ryan did anything to bring them two closer. What he put their company through, what he put Devin Haney through, who was a solid ass fighter, did everything right, came in on weight, never gave Ryan half the shit that they were giving to him. No, I think that rubbed Bernard all wrong. So I believe Oscar wasn't on board with Garcia until after the fight. You know, I'm not lying when he went up there and was like, "This is Ryan's way," or whatever, however the fuck he said it that night. To me, that was
shots. Ryan calls the shots.
That was me. That was him telling Ryan, "It's all you now, baby. You, Al Heyman, whatever you want, it's what you guys are going to get because I'm still getting paid, right? He's still making money. Let them do whatever they want now." And I know Bernard didn't want to see it, and I think that's why Oscar had his back to Bernard. He's like, "Don't worry, you don't have to look at me as I fucking say what I'm about to say.
You're not gonna agree with me, so just cover your ears."
Yeah, I don't want to see you burning me with your fucking. I'm gonna knock your ass out again, Oscar. Fucking, but yeah, no, it's Ryan's way now. I don't know what universe I'm living in. I just kept saying that this whole week as I watched everything on the internet. Nothing's unfolding to dude's a fucking cheat. Like, hold on, bro.
Yeah, no, yeah. Then
I
it's like it's absurd that they're praising him so much. Like, there's a glaring issue with the fact that he didn't make weight, and everybody just like totally blowing over that, just like grazing right over that. It's like, oh, but he whipped his ass and he bet on himself, and what a great way to make fucking money. He bet on himself to win, and it's like, and look, there. Going back, as a matter of fact, even Bernard, right? Even Bernard, there was when he fought Trinidad, he had some sponsor on his back or some shit, right? That
yeah,
supposedly gave
the
him some money
gambling.
and the
Yep.
gambling, right? And then Larry Merchant said it during the fight that he took the money that he was given for that and he bet it on himself. However the fuck he did it, he did it. But
Yep.
he fucking came in on weight and he
Yep.
whooped Trinidad's ass. As a matter of fact, I think he came in like super light. He came in like 157.9 or some shit like that for that fight, which was supposed to be middleweight 160. And he came in like super ready. And people were concerned that he might have overdone it in training. And he came in too fucking strong, regardless, for Trinidad. But if you want to use that as an example, well, at least he fucking made weight, for Christ's sakes. He did what he was supposed to do properly because of the respect that he had for the sport. And at the time that Ryan didn't make weight, that at that moment, fuck the disrespect leading up to it, but at that moment, Devin and his team should have been like, "Fuck y'all, dude!" Like, the best way they instead of because and I've said this, Ryan tried to make or tried his best to guarantee that Devin wouldn't pull out, and that's why he went over the top with his behavior, making it racial, etc. The best way that Devin could have got back at Ryan was to pull out, not
Yeah.
to say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna get in the ring, I'll take the money, fuck yeah, I'm gonna whoop your ass in the ring. No, 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 don't do that. Be like, I'm gonna hit you where it really hurts in your fucking pocket. No, we ain't fighting. How about that,
Yeah.
motherfucker? Good,
Yeah.
good on you that you fucking came in heavy. How about that?
And he lost.
And
And he lost all those endorsements with the shit he was pulling. Remember, they were saying he was losing endorsements during this promotion of this fight. So he
oh
would have.
no shit, no, I didn't.
Oh
I didn't.
yeah,
I just
Ryan.
remember the whole Mets thing, him throwing out the pitch that didn't
The
happen. But
pitch, but yeah, no, that Ryan had said he had lost some endorsements when he started talking about, all he had went into a lot. I'm not trying to get into all that again, but
yeah,
yeah, you're right. They would have been a double whammy. Now you're losing the guaranteed check from boxing, and you lost endorsements being a jackass. Listen, here's the rule. Look for this in the future with your nearest sports book, ladies and gentlemen. You miss weight, that fight's off the table. You
mm,
watch, bro. Motherfucking dude comes in overweight. Watch how the sports books change these odds if they're not completely wiped. They did it when Mike Tyson got knocked out by Buster Douglas. The sports book said we'll never do a 42-1 underdog again. After that night, they changed their gambling.
mm.
Watch Ryan Garcia did it with the overweight thing. You let that shit happen again. Why would you? I would rather walk away from one fight, one event, than lose 12 million plus dollars in one casino.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna make it up. Even if it's losing that one event, they'll make that shit up right around.
Yes.
That same day, before
Yep.
they close before the end of business that day, they would already made
But
up fucking money.
there was one guy who said he made 10 million. I don't know if this is real, but people were writing Ryan about the money that they had made. The plus 600, bro. Say that's what I mean. This is not just about the 12 milli that he won.
Mm-hmm.
What about the plus 600 that everyone else had to write? You don't think
Yeah,
the whole casino world's like, fuck this dude when they read this little shit's tweets?
right.
All these old timers just slapping shit down these motherfucker. He scammed us all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say it. There was a horse jockey that he fixed a race here in the Bay Area. That man committed suicide on the bridge.
No shit. How do you fix it? How do you fix the like
He
deliberately
didn't.
lose or what?
Yeah. He was probably the favorite and pulled his horse back. Yeah. So
Damn.
they threw his ass. They threw him over the bridge, or he jumped off the bridge. Who really knows? But that man was gone.
Damn.
Back in the day, you don't do these things like that. You know what I mean? Um, what Ryan did was not small. Plus 600. That's a big hit, dude. That's for every $100. For all you that don't know, every $100 you bet on Ryan, you took home $700 that night.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Crazy, crazy. Move on to the next. I don't want to kill people with this. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
it's okay. We found ourselves back in the damn. This is how much this has affected us. We're still talking about it, a couple of weeks later. But but anyway, but yeah, I was talking about Floyd. I wonder what it is. I mean, I obviously we know it's money, right? But is it like jewelry? You think? Like I don't know what the fuck else it could potentially be that would be so crazy. I mean, obviously money. Yes, yes, yes. I get it, money. But like where would that have come from, like, for him to have been, first of all, I didn't even know motherfucker was in Saudi Arabia or Dubai or wherever the hell is Middle East. I'm not even sure where exactly he's at the moment, but like what in the world could it be that's going on that he can't get the fuck out of there? Like, I get it, they're holding him up for money for whatever the fuck reason, but what did he do to them?
Did his credit card finally get canceled? Maybe he put hella money on some credit that he can't now. America's like, no, Floyd, you don't even have that. Why are you over there spending money you don't have? Give that shit back to His Excellency. Listen, he has the money, but you know what he would have to do? He would have to sell. And once Floyd starts selling, that shit's going to hit the news, and then everyone knows, the mansion in Miami's gone. Oh, the mansion in LA's gone. He's down to one residence now.
All
right?
the Rolls Royces that he's got, all that goes.
So that's what he's trying to avoid, right? You don't want to be selling. We know he's worth millions, but you might have spent all your cash, and now all you got left, you got to sell to get your cash out of it. So he might have ran into that finally. Look, this guy sold. He one time spent $18 million in one shopping trip. He's not supposed to be that guy. He was never that guy, and we said it 10 years ago. He makes great money, but he's not a Saudi prince. You don't spend 18 million in one day, you fucktard. You don't do that. Now,
especially not on shopping.
Like, no. He's gonna say it's jewelry and he can resell it. So then resell it. Oh, but I don't want to do that either. Well, then you shouldn't have bought it for 18 million because now you got to sell it.
Then it's your ass in fucking Saudi Arabia.
I heard the resale of his cars were never good because he used to customize the shit out of them. No rich dude wants to ride around with Floyd Mayweather fucking sewed into the back of the seat.
Embroidered in the fucking headrest.
Like, TBE on the TBE and like, dude, a little too customized on the Lamborghinis. Kind of hard to sell.
Yeah, he's got like 51-0 on the damn steering wheel. Like, what the fuck is this? Like,
he's like, all right, so let me just. What if we get new seats? Oh no, those cost $150,000 too, Floyd. Fuck. You didn't know that little switch right there is $17,000? Sorry, bro. Yeah, 17 grand for that little switch. I heard a headlight was $7,000. Fuck out of here. You got to be a certain level to drive around those cars, bro. That's why those guys, they could do it for a while they're hot, but as soon as the money Floyd, I think Evander said, as soon as the $40 million check stop coming, dude, do you know how fast your money goes when you got all these little things that cost that much to upgrade? His fucking landscaping was $250,000 a year. His landscaping. Do you know how much money that flies when you don't make money anymore? You're not making a check anymore.
Yeah. Not big checks like that. Oh, jeez. At that point, more is going out than's coming in, and he's, it's like just changing the floor mats on the damn car. It's like, I want these 50-0 floor mats changed. Like, it's gonna be $10,000, sir. Never mind.
Never mind.
They say it all, they say it all the time. You buy shit you don't need, you're gonna eventually have to sell shit you don't need. That's just how it is, yo. Yep. So damn, that's crazy shit. I'm like, I was looking for a tweet because Michael Benson on Twitter tweeted something like that, and I wanted to look it up again, and I couldn't fucking find it. But yeah, that's as a matter of fact, that was so. I went to go get my allergy test today, right? The guy my dermatologist, I was putting the patches on my back. I was like, so how was your weekend, right? Like making small talk while he was putting these fucking allergy patches on my back, right? So he's like, how's your weekend? And I'm like, I'm a fight fan. I watched some fights this weekend. He's like, oh, and he's like, did you hear, like who's, and he doesn't not a fan, so he doesn't fucking know. He's like, who's Floyd Mayweather fighting again? That fucking young cat? And I was like, no, Floyd's not fighting anybody. He's fighting, and he's like, oh no, sorry, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's fighting Jake Paul. I was like, yeah, that's what it was, right? And I was like, speaking of Floyd, you know he's stuck somewhere, and then he's like, what? And like, yeah, he owes some money to the Saudis or something, and his ass ain't going, and he's like, no kidding. Oh, those guys don't mess around. Like, yeah, they don't mess around. For real, they don't mess around. Clearly, they don't mess around. So, yeah, that's kind of funny that the topic came up, but damn, that's some shit. I'm like trying to find some other news and see what develops in the coming days, but damn it, Floyd, you had it coming, homie. Sorry to say, you kind of were asking for it. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
But besides that, the only other topic that I wanted to finish up, wrap the show up with, is of course what we sprinkled in throughout the show, Munguia and Canelo. That's going to be basically the cap, right, on the show here. I was looking. I have the MGM, like it's like a betting app, right? I have it on my phone here, so I'm gonna pull it up to see what the current odds are, because I'm gonna go down to the MGM tomorrow to take a look at the weigh-in and see if not the weigh, I'm sorry, like the grand arrivals, and I was gonna go and pick up some the odd sheets or whatever the hell, but I have it here, of course, because so. Let me ask you something, Andrew. What do you think of the card, of the fight card overall? Because on the fight card we have Brandon Figueroa, right, the heartbreaker, whatever, fighting Jesse Magdaleno, one of the homies, Magdaleno twins, brothers here from Vegas, right? We have that on the card. We have Mario Barrios against another Maidana, not the Maidana, but another
Right.
Maidana. And those are the two, and then those are the ones that I'm showing on the odds. And then as of right now, Canelo Munguia, of course, it looks like minus 500 for Canelo, just a straight money line, and then it looks like plus 400 for Munguia. That's if I'm reading this properly. But anyway, that's kind of, if I'm reading this correctly, that's kind of the direction we're going, because there's a lot of prop bets here, a fuck ton of them here. Hold on, let me make sure I'm looking at the right ones here. Yeah, so just straight up money line. Let me repeat that: minus 550 for Canelo, plus 350 for Munguia. That's as accurate as
Bro, why are those odds so close? Why is Canelo only minus 500? You're saying
minus 550. That's what it's showing on the app. Like, and I have, like, it shows it says fight three-way results, and then the draw would be like plus 1600 is what I'm showing. But
did Ryan
minus 550. No.
Did Ryan affect them that much, or they're like, hey, these odds, can we just like close this up a little? They're fucking, we don't know if Canelo's gonna show up, man. Fucking not doing this minus 1100. They won't get any money on them. At minus 500, you'll make some rich guys think about it, right? Because everyone thinks it's a wash, dude. If you think the fight's a wash, you're making, $100 and something for every 500. Or every 550, you're making 100 back. For rich guys, that's an all right investment. Not for us. I never want to put 500 in to win $100. But these guys that have money just to throw away, when you're talking a million or hundreds of thousands, and you're gonna make 20 grand or 30, and you're gonna make that. I don't know the math. I'm not gonna do it right now, but you're gonna make thousands in a matter of minutes. Oh yeah, you'll fucking throw that money on.
Damn near guaranteed, pretty much.
Guaranteed, man. And that's that. Hey, going into this fight, it almost felt like it was a guaranteed win for Saul, right? Mm-hmm. If you take out his age, his performances in his last few fights, and where he is with the boxing world, this is a wash for Canelo. Canelo's going to eat this dude alive, because Canelo back in the day, he was a counter puncher and he was a powerful puncher. Yeesh, that's a terrible recipe for Munguia, because he's going to be right there to eat everything. Mm-hmm. So, but as it recently, it looks like Canelo's been standing in front of a lot of people, counter punching and power punching, and they just aren't moving like they used to. Yeah. Now, maybe they're bigger, or maybe he's older. So who knows? 550, that's alarming. That means Vegas, it's either Vegas got hit last week and they ain't trying to ride it 2 weeks in a row or 3 weeks in a row, however you want to say it, or they think Munguia's got a bigger chance of pulling this off, because I'm telling you, it's not going to be hard to get the activity up on Munguia, right? If Canelo isn't up to par, Munguia's just throwing punches. That's what Munguia does. He just throws punches. So he maybe Vegas is seeing that side of it and being like, this is risky. It's a risky fight. Man, those odds are close. Ah, it's
I
sad.
think closer than it has been in previous Canelo
Heck
fights.
yeah. Heck yeah.
Mm.
Bro, Canelo used to be a freaking Floyd Mayweather. He used to be minus 1 grand, minus 750. You know what I mean? Like, you had to drop some serious money to because they knew he was gonna win.
Mm.
Minus 550. Woo! Floyd might bet on that. Oh wait, he's broke. Floyd
Yeah,
Floyd would have bet on that back in
yeah.
the day.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I was talking about this earlier with you before I think we started recording. But this free V channel that I have like on my Fire Stick, it's like free TV basically. They were airing the 24/7s with De La Hoya Floyd, and during the recording, Floyd was talking about he was putting it's like every day he goes to the sports book or whatever. It's like fuck. I mean, I don't know if we had digital sports books back then or not. It was like '07, I think, when they fought. So I'm not sure if that was the case then, but he would bring out stacks of cash, and he was talking about that. And I myself, I go to the Westgate here, which used to be the Hilton, and I see Leonard Ellaby regularly there, and putting money on fucking horse races and shit like that. So yeah, if Floyd had the money, I bet you Floyd is like, look, I won't make the money back for you, but if you put money on Canelo, I promise you, it's damn near guaranteed. You know,
He's got guaranteed bets now. That's what we're
yeah,
doing.
he's like the bookie or something, or he's the numbers guy for the fucking Saudis, and he's like, look, man, I got this fucking one for you. What do you think about the card though? Like the with Barrios and Maidana, and then
It's
Jesse Magdaleno and Heartbreak and
no,
all.
Jesse's too old. Even Madonna's. Dude. Some of these guys where they're pulling these fucking names out of it's like they're going in their phone book. They're not even a cell phone. They're going back to a phone book to get some of these guys. And I know Madonna isn't Marcos, but
Right,
that
yeah.
Madonna's still old. This
Mhm,
Madonna's fucking been around.
mhm.
Delorme's been around. Freaking Barthelme's been around. Like, where are these? Where are you guys finding these opponents, man? Where's the fucking? Wait,
It
dude, this.
smells of PBC. It smells of
Yeah,
PBC.
yeah. Like, no, this isn't free. And His Excellence is doing a great job of putting fights on right now. That card that he made, the heavyweight cards. Even though I'm not a big heavyweight, like I don't lose sleep over that heavyweight card. I mean, that was a great card that they put together, right? Wilder, Joshua, all these guys on it. And it was an awesome card. So, and I don't even know the Tyson Fury one. Did they do a good one for Tyson? We're gonna have to look into that. Off the top of my head, I don't know of another
Well,
fight.
Tyson and Ngannou, no, that's the only one that I could think of right off because there
No,
was
I'm saying for the undercard for Tyson Usyk, is it a good
oh
undercard?
shit, I'm not sure. I haven't
Yeah,
even,
I'm not
you know
sure
what? I
either.
haven't even looked at the damn thing. That's a good question, bro, because I haven't
So
even looked at it.
so he's doing great things right now. That Pitbull Cruz Velasquez, freaking Zoo versus Ortiz, fucking Crawford as the main event. That's Don King, man. That's going back to the old days.
Hmm.
This fight card this weekend is not that. Barrios versus
Yeah,
Madonna is not. It's not a championship fight. It's not a Remember when Trinidad fought Yori Boy Compas? Both
yeah,
these men are
on the
undefeated.
Chavez fucking undercard, yeah.
Yeah. Leja versus Rualis versus Nelson, Julian Jackson versus McLennan. These are all undercard fights, you guys. These are
Mhm.
not fucking James Toney versus was it Mike McCallum? He's on the undercard for Chavez. He used to be on the undercard for some of Chavez's fights too, because they
Yeah,
were both
Terry Norris used to be on the undercard.
Terry Norris. Yeah,
Yeah.
like bro, it's not that. So no, I'm not looking forward to Mario fucking Barrios and Madonna. I watch it, but I'm not like Leja versus Ruelas. We were
Mhm.
all gonna watch. Dude, Compas versus Trinidad. My brother was more excited about that fight than he was the fucking main event that night. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
he was all in on Yori Boy. It sucked for Yori Boy, but we were
yeah.
all Yori Boy fans going into that fight. Um, so no, it is gonna be this fight with Terrence Crawford, where I think will be one of the first times since the 90s that I've been so excited about an undercard. And you know what? I know De La Hoya, when he first brought out Golden Boy, had a few good pay-per-views. So I won't knock Oscar.
Well,
Oscar's
I
right.
think was it Floyd and Canelo that the undercard was Matisse and Danny Garcia.
Garcia.
That was
Yeah.
pretty solid. I mean, even
Yes.
those two were pretty solid. I was like, oh shit, I don't even remember the rest of the card, but I remember that, and I was like, okay, this was pretty damn good. I was worth purchasing.
That was. That's what I mean. When Oscar first brings out Golden Boy, he had a hell of a roster. He made a lot of those guys fight each other. So let's say early 2000s, I haven't been this excited about a fight card. But if all those fights come off in one night, it's almost a must that we push this hard on the casuals, that they watch this fight. However we can get them to watch it, they need to at least be told that this event is happening, because those are like the four fights we don't ever get on the same card. Can you imagine, like, if Pitbull and Zoo and Ortiz, if both of those are fight of the year candidates, and they could be, both of those fights could be fight of the year candidates on the same night. You know, when we had something like that.
Dude, Cruz's opponent, Valenzuela, that just badass. He throws.
I know.
Down,
he's the one that just knocked out
yeah, I'm trying to think of his name, but another
little blonde-haired kid.
Yeah. And I'm
Colbert? Is his name Colbert?
Yeah. Chris. Yeah.
Chris Colbert. Yeah.
Yeah, because they had a rematch, man, and I mean, they fought once, and he got kind of stiffed in that fucking decision. So him. And Cruz, that's gonna be a fucking scrap, yo. That's gonna be bad.
And did you see what happened at the face-off? Did you see what they? So how do you say? I thought it was Velasquez. How do you say his last name?
Valenzuela.
Oh, my bad. Stupid. It's so dumb sometimes.
They call him El Rayo, which is like a lightning bolt, so it's a lot easier to call him Rayo. But Valenzuela's the last name.
He's hella taller, bro.
Yeah, yes.
Dude, Pitbull said. Valenzuela looked at him. He looked at the crowd and was like, "What the fuck is this?" I was like, "Bro, you don't know what's coming."
You should know what's coming at this point. We saw it with Raleigh. You should know what's coming at this point. I mean, that damn.
He looked like he had a little too much confidence when he seen how taller he was than him. Yeah. I know Cruz kind of stiffed him on the handshake too, but it was funny how he looked at him and was like, "What the fuck is this? Yeah. What's this little guy? I'm gonna fight this little guy. Little guy's bringing it, boy. You better watch out."
Yep. And he's a champ. He's defending the belt. You're going to have to pry the damn belt from his fucking hands to get that damn win. You know what I'm saying? And they're both coming off impressive wins. That's going to be fucking tight. I pulled up the fucking Usyk and Fury undercard here. We have Jai Opetaya against Marius Brady's. We know Brady's. I've seen that guy a few times. Cruiserweights. Joe Cordina versus Anthony. I can't even pronounce his last name. Yeah, I don't know. I know one person on this fucking undercard, bro. Like this undercard with Usyk and Fury is pretty crap. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. Sometimes I think that has to do with how much money that Usyk and
yeah. Oh, it is. There's only so much money to go around, There's only
that's
so much
what I mean.
Yeah.
That's why I know even His Excellency has a cap on him. And I don't know if he can make a fight like Crawford and Canelo when they both demand so much. He's got to see something on the get back. This can't be he just loves writing, $200 million checks. Come on.
Exactly.
Like,
because
he's got to.
Nobody likes losing money, right? No, even if it's $10, no one likes losing it just for the sake of losing $10. We're talking about hundreds of millions potentially on a fucking card just for his own goddamn entertainment. Like, I don't know. There has to be some ROI, something,
We heard about the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Dubai, all these guys pushing this new, what do you call it, era into their countries.
Okay.
Because oil was going to start going away here soon in the near future. Maybe not, 25 years or so. Oil, gasoline, and all that, it might have a whole new look, right? A lot of things going energy. It's only going to get better. I know it's hitting a little bit of roadblocks right now, but we could call those also just learning, right? They're just learning how to get this new wave of energy out there, cars out there. So they always needed a plan B, basically, is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So they're not in this just to spend money. They're looking to how to invest money to make more money. And this man likes sports. So he's going after the sports world, right? They went after golf. They went after boxing, MMA, F1. Did you hear about the fucking the racetrack they're building out there?
No.
Yeah, I guess they want to build like the Grand Prix of the F1 Grand Prix. Like, this thing's supposed to go into the sky, bro. The F1 race is going into the sky and then coming back down. Then whatever. They have the money to do it though, right? They're building that bubble. Did you see about that they're gonna build a dome or whatever over there, doing something like that?
Jesus Christ, those guys. Okay, no, I didn't hear that.
And that might not even be right. they're just building an enclosement that's going to be self-sufficient. They don't need to go outside, basically.
Oh,
Once you get to,
that rings a bell. That rings a bell.
yeah, you see, it's $1 billion or $300 billion, trillion-dollar building or some shit they're building out there because they want more tourism. They want more people to come here. I guess one of the big things about the celebrities going there are the fucking sandstorms that come out of nowhere and like
Oh,
will just
shit. Okay.
yeah, they're not cool, right? So they got to build something that makes celebrities feel comfortable and not gonna go there and fucking get hit in a sand tornado or whatever they're called. So yeah, man, he doesn't like just writing checks. Eventually, this sport has to pay them back too. I mean, we can't be stupid here and just think that it was all him just making people fight each other. It seems like he's in this to take over, though. I will say that.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like he's playing around. He's getting fight. That's why. Did you see Oscar's tweet about the no one's gonna come to L.A. and
Well, so I thought he was talking about because the card is going to be in LA, right? The
yes,
offers, right?
yes.
So I thought that's what he's talking about, but I guess it was a shot at Hearn. I was like, hold on, who's he talking about? Because it was Hearn the one that actually responded to it or some shit like that. So now I'm confused. Now I'm like, okay, who the fuck was he talking to? Eddie Hearn? Because I don't know why he was referring to Eddie Hearn, but now him and Hearn are having like a little bit of a mini beef over social media. So I thought he was talking about His Excellency. No.
I thought he was talking about His Excellency too. The fight's announced in LA. You know,
Yeah.
I could have swore that Virgil Ortiz fight comes in later. So maybe Oscar was working, you know, maybe that was him like, I'm going to fight for my fighters. Look, I got to tell you, man, I was wrong about Bob Arum being the one to lean on to take us Top Rank, take us into the future. It's starting to more and more look like Top Rank is not the future of boxing. They're actually the odd man out. I say that because they've lost so many great fighters recently, right? They can't keep a big name. Teofimo Lopez is not even being talked about against Ryan Garcia by any of you fuckers in the media. I don't see anyone pressing Ryan about why aren't you going after fucking Lopez? He's the best in the division, right? You're the face of boxing. Fight the best in the division, right? No one's this. You don't see it. You're not seeing stories on it. They're doing exactly to Lopez what they did to Crawford. For some reason, Lopez is the new Terrence Crawford, not being mentioned anywhere.
Like cutting off his legs, basically.
Yeah,
no legs to stand on.
Yeah, it's like Bob's so fucking old he can't. And no disrespect to him, he's just so old he can't fight the shit anymore. He can't, he can't win these battles. He's being outworked out there in the boxing world. You can see it because his fighters aren't getting fights. They're not even being mentioned. Lopez is one of the baddest dudes on the planet, bro. How the hell did we just get through this Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, the Terrence Crawford, Spence fight, and Lopez not being mentioned to any of them?
Yeah, he wasn't even there. I mean, like, and this is one of the top. And mind you, regardless of whether Garcia came in weight, the fight was supposed to be at 140. So it's like if you're the man at 140 and there's a pay-per-view that you're not in, you probably should be ringside. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, I'm next, something along those lines, right? But he wasn't even there.
Yeah, you got to think. I don't know what ESPN role is in this new way of boxing with Amazon Prime getting involved with it. It looks like a lot of fighters are going to use their platform. It looks like Eddie Hearn and De La Hoya might be using their platform. I don't know where Bob stands with that, or ESPN. Do they want to share the money, or do they? I guess they did share it with PBC before, so maybe that doesn't become an issue with them. They're not getting the fights for their guys. These guys have had the talent, and they're not getting the fights. And that's, to me, it just shows you that Bob Arum's being pushed out. And if he's not being pushed out, he's just so old that he's not involving himself anymore. And it's showing because his guys aren't getting talked about. Shame on you media members, though. You media members should be pushing Teofimo Lopez. Lopez has done nothing to the sport for him to get blackballed. It was the same shit on Terrence Crawford. I used to get so mad when those fucking PBC announcers would the WB or the welterweight rankings, and they wouldn't even have his name up there, bro. They wouldn't even have his fucking name. The dude beat the guy that beat fucking Floyd or beat Manny, right? Manny, Jeff Horn beat Manny. Terrence beat him, and he's not even on your rankings. It was such a fucking joke. And then to see all you peewee media members who act like you're fucking media members, but you're really not, because our sport is fucking garbage right now. We don't even get a media room. The fuck out of here. You guys act like you're media because you follow whatever the fuck is being told to you. You know what I'm saying? You don't have the balls enough to come out and go, nah, you know what? Fuck that dude. Why aren't you fighting this guy? We don't even care about that dude. You know what I mean? Ryan Garcia versus Fontura. Wait, what? Back in the day, it'd been like, what? What are you, scared? You're scared of Terrence Crawford. You're scared of Teofimo Lopez. Go ahead, say it. Like, that's what the questions would have been back then. Now it's like, oh, nah, just whatever. It's not the same. It really isn't. And what's going on with Terrence and Teofimo is it is a shame. It's a shame because even Terrence, he still didn't win. Even signing with Al Heyman, he's still not winning. What, this fight against some fucking dude with 10 fights? That's supposed to be his victory parade?
Yeah, a year later, damn near. Oh no, it's in August, so it's actually more than a year. 13 months from when he fucking last fought Spence. So in regards to the fight this weekend, let's everything that we've already talked about in regards to your theories and our conspiracies. What we're gonna usually when these fights come around, we're gonna have to, put our backs against the wall and come up with a prediction. At the end of the day, we're going to have to predict what's going to happen, whether we're wrong or not, regardless. But we're going to have to go with that. So before I throw in my 2 cents, what do you anticipate is going to happen this weekend? Who's going to come away with the victory? And I always like to ask people not just who do you think is going to win, but how? How do you think it's going to happen? So go ahead and sound off. Who is winning this weekend? Munguia, Canelo.
It's a fight that I wouldn't bet on because I think Canelo isn't bringing enough money for me to even risk it. Look,
but
I think
I've
already.
Even on Munguia though, like not even $20 on Munguia.
No, because I think he wins only if Canelo gives him the fight. See, there's sometimes you got to listen to the way that I'm selling these fights. Like when I sold Mayweather versus Guerrero, I did it because Guerrero went to church. That is not a great reason why Robert's gonna win this fight. But hey,
it's like he shows up on time to pick up his kids from school, so he's gonna go with the victory.
And like, God don't like evil. Robert's a good guy. Maybe, I don't know. Hey, maybe he just lightning strikes in a bottle. I don't fucking know. So yeah. This is another one of, well, maybe Canelo just doesn't want it anymore. That's the only way I see Munguia winning. You guys, listen, Munguia don't have a fucking defense. He comes straight forward. This is a wash if Canelo was young and hungry, actually had something to fight for. If he had, you know what I mean? Like, come on, Munguia don't go 6 rounds with this dude back in the day. He's too fast, too many combos, and he hits too hard. Remember when like every punch Canelo threw, you heard it was like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
He had like
just it was fucking Kirkland getting, it's like that because Kirkland gets hit and Canelo hit him, on 154. Munguia gets hit. It's a matter of how much Munguia can take. Like, Canelo is a relatively small super middleweight, but he still makes a super middleweight limit. But, we've mentioned it before. He doesn't have the same kind of pop that he had at 60 or even 154. So is that in Munguia's favor? Because Munguia's going to get hit, and he's going to get hit a lot. Let's be real. He's going to get taken a lot. So it's ultimately whether or not he could take Canelo's punch. That I think is the biggest is going to be the biggest determining factor, because if Canelo lands and he knows he is not able to hurt Munguia, then it might be a long night for Canelo. But that one right there, I'm like, how is Munguia going to take Canelo's pop? Or maybe Canelo doesn't have any pop anymore. Does he really even want it anymore?
Yeah, no, that's the only way I'm betting on Munguia is if I'm going in there with Canelo is not the same. And well, I do believe that he's not the same fighter as 10 years ago. He still should have enough to outbox Munguia just going through the motions, wanting the win, right? Just sticking behind a jab, counter shots, things like this. Munguia, he just eats way too many punches. If I'm Jaime Munguia, he's got to fight smarter. He's got to try to score your points and move before the counter comes. I don't know if he has that in him.
I was just about to ask that. I was like, can he do that?
I'm just giving you my avenue on how I think he could win the fight. Um, you know, if he takes a punch, and listen, you guys, if he can take a punch, then we're gonna have the fight of the year because they're both men aren't moving. Canelo stays on the ropes. He don't give a fuck. Canelo will stay there, try to do his defense, get hit. We seen with Bivol, he took a hell of a beating that night. He really did. Bivol was peppering him on some of those combos. Sometimes Canelo was trying to block. They like 3 were getting in on out of 5 punches and shit like that. So Canelo will stay in the pocket even when it's not going good for him. It's going to be the fight of the year if both of these guys can take their punch. So no, I'm going to lead towards Canelo on a decision. I won't even say split. I'm going to say decision. Um, my selling of this fight is who is Saul Alvarez right now though. I haven't listened to his interviews recently enough for the buildup of this fight to say that. I think it was Barrera that showed me something in his interview with Marquez that made me start thinking he just didn't want the rematch with Manny. Um, I haven't seen anything like that with Saul leading up to this. My whole thing about thinking about that was the reason why he took Munguia. To me, there wasn't a real reason to take this Munguia fight, bro. It doesn't make him that much money. It might make him look bad on pay-per-view again. Like, I don't know how he goes in there and collects these checks when the pay-per-view doesn't even make what, you know what I mean? Like, you didn't even hit your quote and you're like, yeah, pay me, bitch.
Yeah.
See you guys later. Like, thanks, Canelo.
Right here, right here. Put that check right here. Like direct deposit. No, I want it in my fucking hand.
So yeah, so it's a fight like it's on financially it's gonna might make him look bad again, might not make him look like the face. This fight, if Eddie Hearn's numbers are right, I don't see this fight doing 920,000 pay-per-view buys. I haven't even heard anyone talk about this fight, bro. They're still on Ryan Garcia's bullshit. I'm dead serious. At least the casuals in my life here. No one's called me like, hey, you're going to watch Munguia versus Canelo this weekend? I haven't gotten one. So, but that has been a lot of Canelo's recent fights because he's fighting opponents that no one fucking knew or cared about. The Plants, the fucking, who's the white guy who broke his eye socket, retired the next day?
Oh, Billy Joe Saunders.
Billy Joe Saunders. What? Who is the other guy hitting the bicep? Oh, he broke his bicep.
Callum Smith. Yeah,
Callum Smith. Like, come on, these are names no one fucking cares about, bro. Munguia on the Mexican side is popular. On the Mexican American side, I don't know if he's that popular. To do 920 on the pay-per-views. Mm-hmm. So he's setting himself up to look bad again. He's setting himself up to look like he's going to have another long negotiating for his next fight. That could be drowning, right? Just to hear that you're not what you used to be and you're not even losing, but everyone's kind of like against you because you make too much money and you don't make it back. You know, those are the feelings that he has walking into these buildings. At least on the American dollar side. Now, I don't know what he's doing internationally. I don't, DAZN might be in love with him. Mexican television might be in love, even though he does that for free, correct? He doesn't fight on pay-per-view in Mexico.
Oh, well, it's not considered pay-per-view yet. Over there is no pay-per-view. Well, at least not that I'm aware of. So it's just like his fights are gonna end up being, and not just his fights, like basically every fucking fight. I didn't even know pay-per-view was a thing in Mexico because I've watched UFC cards from a fucking hotel room in Mexico. That shit was for free. Granted it was the Spanish commentators, but I've done that shit like many times. Like I was watching Chavez Jr. versus fucking Anderson Silva on fucking, it was supposed to be pay-per-view. I was in Tijuana that weekend and I was watching that shit on my TV in my fucking house. You know what I'm saying? It's like stuff like that. So I'm not sure how pay-per-view works over there, if there is any, but to your point, yeah, whatever the hell the deal is, it's free over there for at least Canelo.
Yeah. For the people. They're obviously paying Canelo, yeah. So and for us it's pay-per-view where his numbers haven't done good. So it's a lot of unknown, I guess, going into this one, man.
Have you seen the countdowns? There's like a 2 or 3 episode of Gloves Off. I forget what the hell it's called, but some shit like that. You already cut. All right, I went on a little marathon and I watched them. They're not very long, so I was able to like kind of breeze through them. You didn't see anything there, perhaps, that made you lead you to believe that maybe Canelo's 1 foot in, 1 foot out?
No. No, I didn't. Not off the top of my head that can I remember anything. This is more just off of his appearances,
Mm.
the way that the outrageous number he threw for the Benavides, right? That was kind of like fucking I don't want this. Give me 200
Yeah,
million or
200 million.
150 million. Um
Yeah.
it just a lot of it to me started pointing towards like, man, could he really be doing this for Munguia? Could he really? Or he's not gonna totally give it to you, but if you
Yeah.
take it, he ain't really gonna fight hard for it either.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
mm,
Like, go ahead
mm.
and have it, you little fucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's like, thank me later, jackass.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Yeah, better be at your wedding.
yeah. I don't I see that as a possibility, but at the same time, I don't. I get the feeling that Canelo, it's gonna be one of those Canelo Kirkland type of fucking fights. Like he's gonna tag Munguia early, and he's gonna get him rocked early. Like I anticipate him getting stunned early. He's like, oh shit, I'm in a fight. Let me fucking do this. And the I think the event is probably over Munguia's head. I don't think he's been.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's experienced it. At least not that I can remember. Where
Nope.
coming into the fucking fight, having this many people on him. Like seeing the crowd at the weigh-in, seeing the crowd at the press conferences, seeing this like tour that they're doing, and then fight night, seeing a packed T-Mobile Arena or whatever the fuck is that MGM, T-Mobile, I think it's T-Mobile. I don't think he's been, and right off the top of my head, I don't remember him ever being in a fight that big of that magnitude. I mean, nobody has when it comes to Canelo. So, um, I think that's going to get to him. I think it's going to be a little bit of a deer in the headlights. When then it's too late. At that point, he's gonna get stuck early, and he's probably gonna get stopped. I anticipate Canelo stopping him probably before the 7th. So I'm gonna throw in my prediction there. I'm gonna say Canelo, KO or TKO, whatever, by 7. I don't see for as much. Uh, if his youth is going to help him, it's going to help him because he's going to be able to take the shots. I think a little bit better than most, but he's been fortunate, and I know there's a specific way that they're planning the matchmaking for Munguia, but he's been fortunate that the matchmaking is in his favor, and they're choosing guys who don't hit that hard because he's been tagged by these guys.
Right.
That's not going to be Canelo. Canelo's
Right.
going to fucking land these shots, and they're going to be bombs. So I anticipate him, if not getting rocked early, maybe getting knocked down early and then finish later on. I don't see him being able to recoup. So I'm going to throw in my prediction there. I'm going to think it's going to be Canelo about 7. That's what I'm looking at. But
Good fight.
we will see. What how they look, because I am gonna make it down there for the grand arrivals tomorrow afternoon. Keep your notifications on, for our YouTube channel, because I'm gonna put those on there. I'm gonna do my best to edit the video so there isn't any fucking copyright music, because we had that issue. So if you hear some super generic
Hella
rock
dumb
music,
too. I know.
yeah, some super generic rock music, it's because I had to fucking edit the video, so, or even mute it for that matter. But anyway, I will be there for that, and I'm gonna try to be there for the media workouts as well, which I don't even know if they're gonna have Canelo Munguia there. Quite frankly, they're probably gonna have just the undercard, but nonetheless, keep your notifications on, because I'm gonna have some footage and some coverage out on our YouTube channel. But that's all we got for you. We wanted to kind of give you something, before the fight, our go home show. We'll see what happens. We'll see how they look at the weigh-ins. We'll see how things progress from there. But this Saturday, the zone slash or no PBC, right? And Amazon Prime. Fuck, I don't even know at this point. One of the two guys, paper.
It is. Yeah, it's both of them for this one,
So,
DAZN and PBC.
cool, cool.
Yep. Or
Uh,
I guess you say Prime now on Prime.
Yeah, I guess we
Amazon.
could call it Prime, right? So pay-per-view this weekend, Canelo versus Munguia. Make sure to catch that. I will definitely be doing that, and then we'll have our preview, or not preview. What's the word? Post-fight show next Sunday, and we'll talk about the results and what the hell happened. So thank you guys as always for joining us. This has been Migs, Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, Andrew Labouche, don't get it twisted, Labouche, for Mad Boxing, the Mad Boxing Show. Thank you for joining us. We will see you guys next week with the results of Munguia and Canelo. We'll see you guys next week.